Okay, welcome to part two of the Sunless Sea playthrough that I was working on here. We'll go ahead and get started, and we'll try to do a quick rundown of what we did and where we're at from the first part. We are playing as a veteran. That's our character's background. He was a veteran of a war. He is proficient in iron, hearts, and pages. Iron is like the offensive military stat in this game. He has 83. He has 67 pages, which is like the book knowledge stat, and he has 57 heart, which is like the, HP, healing, defensive stat. He's much less good at mirrors, which is detection and perception, and he's much less good at, he's the worst at veils, which is speed, stealth, and deception. So he's not a very stealthy or deceptive character. Let's go ahead and look through our hold here. Let's see what we have in our ship. We have this extra cannon. We need to sell that when we get back to London. This is the starting cannon, but my character inherited a better cannon, so he doesn't need that. We bought these 5 parabol linen. I wanted the shop to be at in one of the towns. We have the port report for Grand Geode. We were just there at the end of last session. That's in the very southern part of the map. We have the port report for Iron Republic. That's where we're at right now in the save file. We're at the Iron Republic. Currently docked here. We have the port report for Crimean Canal. That's to the north of us. And the port report for Quaker State, which is near London. So that's on the way back there. One thing we were low on, we're actually just looking, we only have 2 supplies, so we need to prioritize getting more supplies for our crew. Currently have 9 out of 10 crew, and they eat hunger or they get hungry and they eat supplies as you see around. So we need to take care of that. A little bit more long term, we have some tracking for the time we spent in different locations. Iron Republic, we've been there for 5 days. That's the one we're sort of trying to focus on. Again, I'll bring up my notes here again. The thing I'm trying to do for this character is achieve the Book of Sharps achievement. I don't know if it's an achievement or an ending. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but the in-game UI describes it as raise the anarchists to prominence as a description. Again, my guess is it has to do with the Iron Republic, because that's where right now this looks like a place of anarchists. Hell's client state. Although I guess Hell is more of like a lawful, in like D&D parlance, it's more like lawful evil, not so much anarchist. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the anarchist mission is somewhere else in the game. But we'll keep an eye out for that as we sail around. But we really just started, so we have like the default. We have the starting ship, which isn't very good. It can only hold 40 cargo. Yeah, you can see I was looking for this last game. This is the button you click on to see how much cargo you have in your hold. So I have 26 out of 40, and you can throw away cargo you don't want. I could do it like throw away this gun if I needed the room. It only sells for like 10 or something back in London, so it's not a big deal. But again, this ship only has 40 cargo, so even if I fill up on like 10 more supplies, I'd be at 36 out of 40 cargo, and I'd be basically full. The only thing I'm carrying that's extra is a couple flares and 5 parabolic linen. So I'm not really transporting any goods at the moment. So one of the earlier game priorities will be buying a better ship. I looked through when we were in town. I think the one I wanted was like 12,000 or 10,000 echoes. We currently have 700, so we're nowhere near that. But our legacy does have 7 of these heirlooms, which these sell for like 1,000 each. Basically, it's like you exchanged your money on a previous character for an heirloom, like you bought some fancy art or something. Pass it on to your scion. Could be your child or just like your pupil. I don't remember what the legacy from my previous character was if he had a child. If this is the child from the previous. Again, I played this game like 10 years ago last time, so I don't remember much about the previous playthrough. But in any case, we have some money saved up in the form of heirlooms, so we could sell for about 7,000, which put us around 8,000 or so echoes. But that's still not enough to buy the ship that I wanted. So we'll just have to go around town or around the area and just do more missions in the meantime. We're currently here. We can buy fuel. This is a really good place to buy fuel. It's like super cheap here, but we actually have plenty of fuel. And again, you can only hold so much in your hold, so you can't just like stock up on cheap fuel at the expense of everything else. Although while I'm here, I think I will buy up to like 20. Just get a nice round number. Is there anything to do here in town before we leave? We don't have the something awaits quality, so there's not going to be any interesting decisions to make in the town. So I think we're just going to head back and try to get back to somewhere we can buy some supplies. We're just going to head north. So yeah, let's get started. And we're off. We're going to go full speed because we are plenty of fuel but low on food, so we're just going to be going full speed the whole time. We could sail out to the dark. I think what I'm going to do is sail out a little bit here to where I haven't explored and then just head north to the command canal, which does sell supplies. So I'll try to defog some of this part of the map as I'm heading back north here. That is the plan, at least. Send out the Z-Bat to go and scouts for islands you haven't found in the area. Probably none that are near the town here, but just in case. Okay, so we can basically head north now. Except just kind of defogging the map a bit. Don't want to do too much combat because I don't have time to like fiddle around in the middle of the water and like fight people. Okay, so we marked Visage, so we found some. It says somewhere to the east. It says it marked on the map. Click to mark on your chart. Oh wait, it's over there. Do we have the supplies to get there? Let's take a quick look here. Let's pause the game. We've gone about the half the bar here up to the. I think is when they get to this bar, I think they'll eat one of your supplies. And we've gone from here to here. Yeah, I think we can take a little detour. They could sell supplies over there, so let's go take a look at whatever Visage is. There's also a whirlpool over there. I'm not interested in figuring out what that does yet. Alright, here's Visage. Let's go take a look at what this town has to offer us. The Kapalka Cove. The false stars above our feral amber, like tiger's eyes. Stamford's expanse, named for one who lost his child to cats. Some sort of beetle has invaded the morsel of ship's biscuit. It waggles its antennae impertinently. Okay, we are docked at Visage. Hide your face, hide all faces. Looks like they wear masks or something in this place. Hide your face behind a mask. Alright, this is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked, except one, a stone monument the size of a village church, serenely gazing upward, the flourishing of years. That's this face, I'm guessing. You can see a little picture of it here. So everyone else must wear a mask. Faces may not be naked. Okay. Wandering Parson, this is a quest that involves the submarine, which we don't have yet, so that's currently locked. Only two options here. One is to create the port report. We'll do that first. You can at least interview those who are leaving. People who are leaving Visage, I guess, is what we're interviewing. That will have to do. That a departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honey cakes and something about ear blockage? To this you add your own impressions about the street layout close to port and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it is possible to make out the details of the profile of that great stone face. You now have one port report. Okay. Confused account of crocodiles and honey cakes and something about ear blockage. Not sure how that'll be. Okay, so we have something awaits. Our only option is to go ashore, inward and upward. Once you set foot on Visage, you may be here for a little while. Well, hopefully it doesn't consume a lot of supplies. But can we buy some supplies before we leave? No, there are no shops on Visage. Okay. Well, let's find out what happens. Terms. All those who enter must play their parts. The sign is visible only after you've crossed the threshold. Somewhat ominous. Ashore in Visage. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, archways. In the architecture there lingers a memory of lotus and palm frond. The hill above is a face, forever looking up at the ceiling of the Unterzee. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. Do they inhabit other parts of it? Check in at the customs house. One may not wander Visage at will. Unlocked when you have no mask. A changing room. All visitors must pass, one by one, through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. Okay, so we go into the changing room. A choice of masks. Masks is an assortment of shapes and colors await. So we're going to choose which mask we're going to wear. Ask to go without any mask. Your own fair face will do for you. Thanks very much. Ask for the significance of masks. Maybe there's more to it. Well, let's figure out what's the significance of masks. Assorted pestilences. Moonmoth explains, each mask declares a different intention towards the denizens of Visage and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette, have come in order to observe local ways and to make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who seek profit in Visage and would carry many goods away as possible. Well, we definitely need some money. That could be interesting. You prompt about the bat. Moonmoth hesitates. Bat is an ill-omened visitor, sent as a messenger or spy. Bat always dies. Well, we're not really great at spying, so we're not going to focus on that. So we either probably want to do the frog, clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette. We are definitely clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette. Or we have one to come to seek profit. So frog or locust are the ones I'm leaning towards. I don't think I'm going to try right away to go with your own mask. I'm guessing that it won't let you. Let's just see what happens. No. Moonmoth unfolds its wings. Not suitable, it says. On Visage, everyone is masked. To walk on the island with your own face would give scandal. Okay. Well, I think we're going to go with the frog mask because we are unfamiliar with local etiquette. So let's go ahead and start with that. Moonmoth lifts the mask and places it over your head. The eye holes are large and they are fitted with spectacles. These improve your view of the environment, though you must look bulb-eyed from the outside. There is also a mechanism attached to the mouthpiece which magnifies any sounds you make, even your breathing. You start to thank Moonmoth and it comes out as a booming croak. We're wearing a frog mask. May you profit from your visit in knowledge, says Moonmoth. Its wings fold neatly over its back. Your mask quality is now 2, the frog mask. Expertise hasn't changed because it's lower than 3, so we have very little expertise in Visage. A thing has happened. Alright, we are ashore in Visage. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, archways. In the architecture there lingers a memory of lotus and... Oh, I think I already read this. Yeah. Okay. So we can visit the library, so-called because all books are fragmentary, perhaps. The library of parts, to be specific. You can only go there when you have expertise no more than 2. Visit the flood court. The Moonmoth speaks as though you should already know what it is. Well, we are not very experienced. Or we can end our performance and leave. You can't stay in character forever. Well, I think the frog, like we said, was here to observe and learn knowledge. So let's go to the library. That makes the most sense, I think, for the frog. Stoop at the lintel. Enter the dark. A room of heavy stone, guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niches sorted to correspond to a variety of masks. The jackal, the lioness, the crocodile, and the dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus blossom is standing at the lectern, reading in silence. Okay. The Moonmoth stands to one side as your escort and tour guide. The Library of Parts. Asking about the purpose of this room. What sort of parts are they anyway? Study the scrolls in a bumbling way. They look very old after all. Well, we are the frog. That would make sense. Steal the most valuable looking scroll for later sale. Yeah, we are not a thief. Our veil's quality is quite low, as we've discussed. Probably won't do that. Write notes in the margin. If your frog glove will hold a pen, that is. Unlocked when you have no more than 2. Also unlocked when you have no more than 2. Let's ask about the purpose yet, so this one doesn't seem to be committal. Filed under M for mast. Moonmoth explains. People think it means something like Library of Fragments, but that is wrong. The Library of Parts. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their mass more accurately, more completely, and with a truer spirit. Okay? So we're at the Library of Parts to learn how to play our part in the play. As a frog in this case. Well, I mean, this does seem like what the frog would do. Look at the scrolls in a bumbling way. I don't know if he would start right away with writing, so let's go ahead and be a bumbling frog. Hearts guarded. Taking the nearest, you read it aloud. For guarding against the loss of the heart. Moonmoth takes it from you, rolls it tightly, and returns it to its niche. There are as many ways of guarding against the loss of heart as there are different masks, it explains, in that same light and indifferent voice. You now have 1 expertise in parts. A knowledge of rules and how they are played. Sometimes ignorance is freedom. Learning more will have complex effects. Uh-oh. Well, we have learned 1 more. We are now at expertise 1, so we could also visit, so we could go back to the library, or we could visit the flood court. Moonmoth speaks as though you should already know what it is. If we go back to the library, we could write in the margins. That was one of the other options. Or we could go to the flood court. Well, let's go to the flood court and see what happens. I think this is where you learn what your part is, and this is where you enact your part, maybe? High water. The flood court is a long stone room with 2 ranks of columns on each side. Currently, the court is ankle deep in water, though water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room sits a statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from which water flows out onto the floor. Okay. Currently, the court is ankle deep in water, though it can be higher. The Moonmoth stands to one side, your escort to your right. Ask about the purpose of the room. Probably do that first. Other things we can do. Let's just go ahead and do that. Doesn't really look as though it's good for anything. Depth per day. From a corridor, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick into the water and use it to measure the water level at a pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared with the measurements written on a calendar. If the water level does not match the calendrical position, an assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be, says the moth, that water rose and fell of its own accord, and that the people before wrote down what height it reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions we can replicate the rise and fall so as to still be pleasing to the god of flood. It completes this explanation with a half-body bow towards the statue of the ram deity. So it used to be a calendar, basically. But now it used to be a calendar that they measured the water to see what time of the year it was, but now that doesn't work anymore, so they're adjusting the water to match what it used to raise to at certain times of the year, I guess. We can replicate the rise and fall so as to be pleasing to the god of flood. Okay, well, I'm a frog. Show elfish enthusiasm for this wonderful indoor pool. Frogs like pools, right? Could try to steal it, but that requires no more than 0. We have 1, so you could only do that if you were ignorant. Spy on the other occupant. Close watch is what they need. You would also have to have 0. So again, you have to be ignorant of what your role is. But we kind of know what our role is. Tastelessly compare this room to the bodies of water. I think we will show Ophis enthusiasm for this wonderful. I don't actually know what this is going to do. Croak. You exclaim at how much you admire the room and its excellent pool. Your words are, as always, amplified into a croak. Other masks turn towards you, crocodile, lotus blossom, crescent moon, but no one speaks. You have gathered a suitable degree of disdain. The suitable amount of disdain for a frog, apparently. Moonmoth quietly applauds your performance of froghood. Oh, well, we actually did good as a frog. We were supposed to be an ignorant buffoon, and that's what we did. So now we have 2 parts. We could leave Visage. You can't stay in character forever. We can also go look at what we can do now that we have two expertise, but no more than 3. Let's go back to the library of parts one more time, see if there's any options here. So we already typed the scrolls in a bumbling way. We could write notes in the margins. Is that what a frog would do? Well, we don't have any option to leave. We have to do one of the 2. We may as well see what this does. I don't think a frog would do this, but we'll see what happens. Halt there! Moonmoth is startled. Apparently no other frog has gone so far as to attempt to deface the library's holding. It gets the pen away from you, expostulating. Later you find it writing down a record of what you just did, to be added to the library of parts, a recollection of what can be expected from frogs. Okay. We are now aware of visitor roles. So we didn't do what a frog would normally have done, but apparently they've recorded it as a thing that frogs could do. Alright, so now we can't go to the library of parts of the flood court anymore because we have been here too long. We can either end and leave, or we can trade masks with Moonmoth. It has been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now begin to understand them. Well, let's see what this does. It is keen to go. It draws you aside into a closet in the customs house. Had enough of Visage, it tells you frankly. Here, you take my mask and pretend to be me, and I'll trade in the visitor mask and get on some departing ship. Get my life back. Its face, no, now you see, her face, is aging but unlined. A lifetime of never needing to use a facial expression. So she's been wearing her mask her whole life. So now I am wearing the moth mask, and I'm aware of the moth role. As the moth, what can I do? Let's see, I can visit the house of the chief geometer. It is understood to be an honor. I can visit the temple of Apis. All denizens of Visage go there sooner or later. Or I can visit the site of the face. The stone cheek of flourishing of years is visited as a pilgrimage by the inhabitants of Visage. And if you are in good favor, you may go. Okay. So this one you cannot do more than 6, more than 6. So it looks like any of these can be done twice before my expertise goes from 4 to 6. I don't think I have any particular objective at the moment other than just figuring things out, so let's just go top to bottom. Lines in the wet ground. Each morning the man in the cobra mask draws lines in the mud flat with a pointed steel rod. This apportions to each inhabitant a small trapezoidal area from which to harvest mushrooms and scrape salt. No plot is ever preserved from one day to the next. This man is the chief geometer, the keeper of directions, master of land measures and sea measures. So he's wearing a cobra mask, and he's apportioning areas to harvest mushrooms. Geometer's house. Now you have been invited to his home, at the time customarily appointed for him to receive those who are not his equal in rank, yet not so far beneath him as to be ignored. What ceremonial gift will you bring? Will I bring a string of rats? Cobras like to eat rodents. Surely. Bring a necklace of lapis beads. A necklet of lapis beads. If you do not suit him, they may suit a wife of his. If they don't suit her, he can use them as an offering. Bring a poem, copied on a new scroll. 800 lines of snake. Bring a comb made of bone. Perhaps her hair grows beneath the mask which covers the whole head. Bring fresh candles. Well, I didn't bring any fresh candles, so I can't do that one. You've heard that he likes candles. Bring nothing. It is impertinent for one of the lesser rank to presume to show charity to a superior. Do not go. Well, there's a lot of options here. Let's go ahead and refer to my notes from when I played this game in the past. Visage. Let's see if I took any notes on what any of these may be. Okay, choice of mask. Chief Geometer. So I have never done bring a string of rats. I have never done bring a necklet of lapis beads. I have done bring a poem. You get +1 expertise. This would be good for a bat, but I'm currently the moon moth. Yeah, frog, observe local ways, make uncouth comments. Locust, seek profit and carry away as many goods. Bat is the messenger or spy, so we aren't the bat. We're the moon moth. I don't know what the moon moth's role is. I mean, it was like the tour guide. Okay, so that would be expertise. So what is expertise again? That's just this thing, right? Yeah, visage expertise. Bring a fresh candle. Bring 2 honey cakes. Bring nothing. Well, let's just try the first one. Okay, just gonna give you 1 expertise. So these all just give you 1 expertise. +1 expertise. For the cat. The rats are accepted, but immediately passed on to the household cat, a sleek, black, satisfied creature in its own small mask of filigree gold. Awkwardly, this leaves you with no other gift for the geometer himself. You have no choice but to depart early before someone thinks you have remasked in a more embarrassing part. You are now aware of the moth role. I'm not sure that I am aware of the moth role. I don't fully understand the moth's role in this play. We could go back to the health of the geometer. We could also go to temple or visit the side of the face. Let's take a quick look at the notes. Temple. You can do a hearts challenge that gains you fragments. You can observe and make notes, which gives you intriguing snippets. Collect blood, which is outlandish artifacts. Offer to sell damageable. I think it depends on what your role is. Again, I'm the moon moth. At the side of the face, if your expertise is no more than 4, I have 5. To face the stone with new markings is one of the options. Silently observe the attitude of the visiting lion. Meditate on the meaning of the face. Offer instructions is a page challenge. I have more pages than hearts. Looks like there's some page challenges at the side of the face. Here's something else I've done from the past about what I did as a frog in the library. Oh, if you succeed, you get 100 fragments. That's actually quite a bit. 100 fragments is a good chunk of a secret. But I can't do any of these things at the moment. Okay, well let's look at the side of the face, right? That's the one I said had some page challenges perhaps in it. And I do have pretty high pages, so let's go ahead and take a look there. At the proper time. You must of course wait until your work with the day's crop of frogs and locusts is complete. It would not be suitable to bring them along. Okay. Beside the phase, up on the hillside, the buildings become scarcer and then vanish entirely, leaving you looking at the bottom of a great chin. You can study the ancient marks, tiny pictures march across the stone. Tough challenge, 40%. Offer instruction to the frog that found its way up here. That's the sort of thing your moth would have done to you. Yeah, I can see doing this for sure. I'm the moth now. Push a visiting bat off the stone chin. The visitor is wearing all black. So this can only do if you have 4 out of 5, so I can't do that. Deface the stone. That's not what the moon moth would do. Silently observe. I can do that, but let's offer instruction to the frog. That is something that the moon moth did for me, so I'll pass it on. Credible on both sides. You tell the frog a partially true story about how this face was carved. The frog replies with an amplified belch and a story it heard about the sphinxes, known as the salt lions. It is really a very good frog. Okay, so I played my role as the moth, and the frog played its role as the frog. I achieved 10 fragments, which is not a ton, but it's not better than nothing. 260. We can do that again if we want. We could also fence the temple or the house of the geometer again. I didn't see anything interesting to do at the House of the Geometer, if all these just advance your expertise. But I haven't tried the Necklace of Lapis piece. I suppose we should just try it once to see what it does. I could also try to do the high page challenge. It was only like a 20% chance to succeed, but doesn't mean it's 0. Well, pages is our highest thing, so we may as well just try it, see what happens. Let's do the study ancient marks for 40%. Failed. Okay, well. Old words. No matter how you hold your head, no matter in what direction you try to read the script, you can't make out the meaning. They're in too old a dialect, not to mention that the ones near the bottom get smaller and harder to read. Okay, so we didn't succeed. Don't know what that would have done. Okay, well, our expertise is now 7, so looks like we have to go to the hollow of the ear. Enter the hollow of the ear is a journey of several steps that may conclude your current visit. I have not been a ritual participant. So here we go. A proud nose. It is a festival day. The great stone face has been illuminated from forehead to chin with blazing torches, so that the profile is visible from the side more clearly than you have ever seen it. Flourishing of years is awake, says the genderless figure in the crocodile mask. This is flourishing of years, I guess. Alright, the festival of flourishing. All the denizens of visions are walking towards the ear together. There is a place in the procession which belongs by right to the wearer of your mask. I can fall in line with the others. How else will you discover what lies within? You can fall in line with the others, secretly bringing a flare with you. I do have a flare. Perhaps you will need it in the darkness where you're going. But again, I'm not very secretive. That might not be the right option. Strip off your mask and depart the festival. What does the flare involve? Question mark. Okay. Well, I've never done it, so let's just see what happens. Ritual disobedience. It is a risk to bring it, but it would also be a risk to go without. You conceal the flare in the folds of your robe and fall into the procession. May your sins weigh as stone, says the man in the jackal face, as you fall in line ahead of him. I don't know what that implies. Is that a... May your sins weigh as stone. Well, I don't think I want my sins to be weighing me down. Inside the hollow of the ear. The road you follow leads up through switchbacks along the side of the face and finally to the ear of flourishing of ears and into the cave that is her ear. The tunnel bends back on itself and all lights have now been extinguished. There is nothing to guide you but the hand of the person behind you on your back and the movement of the person in front of you. The one who walks beside you wears a bat mask. The bats were stealthy and secretive, whatever that implies. Fortunately, the floor of the tunnel is very smooth and presents no stumbling blocks. Sound carries strangely in this place, however. Sometimes you cannot hear your own footsteps, and sometimes a breath comes back to you, audible from someplace ahead in the line. Well, we're in their ear canal. I don't know how that would affect the sound. Try to run. You do not really know what this festival is or what it means. Continue. There's a secret in the dark. I don't know why I would run. So let's continue. In line. The footsteps of the people are steady and synchronized, and you go together. For how many years has this been done, and how many years will it be done in the future? Watch your step here, says Bat Mask to you in an under voice. Its accent is the accent of Wolfstack docks. Floor is about to get squishier, and sure enough, it does. I'm carrying a flare and brave, taking light into the dark places. Okay. Deep within. At last the tunnel opens out. You and all other congregants spread out in a cavernous space. A voice speaks in the darkness, a ritual preparation. Here at the new year we must gather under the one mask of flourishing of years. Her face is turned to the gods. Protected by her mask, we may remove our own. Protected by her script, we may speak outside our parts. Here and there is the sound of people fumbling with ties and string. Your own face feels different with the mask off. Our options here. Wait, listen. There are things to learn, perhaps to your advantage. Tell one of your own secrets. I don't have a lamentable relic, so I can't do that. I can fight the urge to giggle. Unlocked when no more than 6, you have 5. What curious practices they have here. Receive the confidence of a stranger as holy. Those who come as spectators may remain as participants. Well, let's wait and listen. Not much for blackmail. You move stealthily through the dark, hearing one knot of conversation and then another. The secrets exchanged do not offer much leverage. You can't see the owners of the secrets. Here and there, you catch the smallest fragment of something that might serve you on a future occasion. The memory of a voyage east, a half-rumor about the Canalian coast, a muttering about the Admiralty. Okay, so we didn't participate in the sharing of secrets, but we listened to other people, and we gained fragments of a secret. 100. Is that what I had written down? Wait and listen, 100 fragments. Okay. That's what this is the one I chose, even though I hadn't really looked at the notes yet. There were other things we could have done. There could have, well, I'll have to come back. There are other things to try. Let's make a note that there are other things to try. Other options to try. I'll put it in brackets that there are more things here. I'll have to come back and try something different next time. A ritual's end. The hour of confidence is drawing to its end. If there is something else you need to do, now is the time. So I could set up the flare. This will certainly get you kicked off the island. I can shine a light in the face of the bat-faced creature. Really, it's just him you want to understand. Or do nothing. Well, I brought the flare. Maybe we'll try to do one of these two things. Shine a light on the bat-faced figure. It was a dude from the Wolfsack docks. Or set up a flare light, you need to see everyone. Well, he was probably the bat is probably doing something deceptive right now, since he's a deceiver. Maybe let's just shine a light on the bat and see what he's been up to. Bat. You hid the flare inside a lantern, but it's still distressfully bright in here. You shine the light on your companion, a man only with a broad nose that looks like it has been broken repeatedly and a missing tooth and scars about the neck, as though he has been executed many times. He gives you a sad, sheepish grin. Nothing to see here, he says, and they'll be putting me to death again soon enough, so you needn't have bothered. Already the others are swarming on him. Before your light goes out, you catch a glimpse of a noose ready in someone's hand. The bats are not welcome here, it seems. Though after your violation of the mass darkness, you aren't welcome either. Oh, I gained a searing enigma. That's actually a pretty valuable secret. Mysteries are fire, truth burns. Interesting. Okay, so I chose the reveal the bat option, and it gave me 1x searing enigma and 150 fragments. And I lost a flare. I am now 10, Violator of the Sacred Mysteries. Is that something that sticks with me? Or is that reset every time I come back to this island? Let's see. Visage. Yeah, it looks like it might stay. I might be marked as a violator. Anyway, well, there's no shops here, so I can't buy any. And there's nothing left to do here. So we are going to, oops, look at the map. I have to launch first. Yeah, so I need to get back to the command canal and buy some supplies. Unless there's anything. I vaguely recall that there's another town near this town. But I don't have a lot of time to explore. Can I do my Z-Bat real fast? Something underwater. I don't want to go underwater. Okay, I need to turn around. I also am being attacked by a pirate ship or something. Yeah, we need to beeline it. Let's turn off our lights so he can't see us as easily. And let's beeline to the command canal. Turn a little bit to the right. Because I am running low on supplies. He's trying to find me with flares, so I turned off my light. Oh no. Suffered 4 damage, that's not too bad. I could probably kill that guy. I do have a really good gun on my ship, but I just don't have... I don't have the hunger to waste just, you know, going in circles around fighting this guy at the moment. Although again, there's a chance I could get supplies after I kill him, perhaps. But, yeah, there was a little island there. Yeah, we're steaming for the canal to buy some more supplies again. Sizzling vapors rise from the sea. Time slips sideways. A coil of ropes has stung a stoker and his fellows beat it to death. We are under the hand of the Iron Republic. Just a bit of lore as we were near the Iron Republic. Turn our light back on to reduce our terror growth. Looks like we'll definitely be able to make it back to the command canal. Go ahead and fill in this little section of the map to our left here. Don't need my light because I know we're in a light source here. There's another boat over there. I'll definitely delve into the combat a little bit more. I'd like to have a ship with a little bit better weapons. Again, my starting gun is good, but I don't have like a forward weapon or an aft weapon or anything like that. Alright, so this place definitely allowed us to buy supplies. We'll probably buy at least one. We can probably get back to London with one supply. We'll see. What can we do here story-wise? Nothing really. We can just listen for gossip. Okay. We gained 1 vision of the surface. I think I did this last time. Yep. Just listen to some stories in a pub. Gained 1 vision of the surface. Okay, let's just buy 1 supplies. It's pretty expensive, but I do want to be able to make it back safely. So let's do that. I could buy 2 supplies, maybe. Let's take a look at the map. That's not the map. This one's the map. So we went from here to here with basically 1 supply. And I just have to... I could either go... Well, I'm gonna go out here to the unexplored area, and then go north. Did Button Island sell supplies? I think it did. I think it did. So if I need to buy supplies at Button Island, I can do that. Okay, let's just buy 1 here for now. They're pretty expensive here, so I'm not gonna stock up or anything. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Button Island sells supplies as well. So even if we can't make it back to London, we can at least buy some more at Button Island. Kind of going out here to explore. Send our Z-Bat out. No islands in range. Turn north. I want to get this section on the map. Why hasn't it unlocked this map section yet? Sure. Send the Z-Bat out again. Oh, there we go. I unlocked the map section. I may as well go for the next section. As long as I'm heading towards Mutton Island, I should be okay. No islands in range. We've entered a fog bank. Something awaits you in port. Always want to have that. Doesn't appear to be anything. Not sure what this line is. Might just be a map decoration. We draw near the command canal. We just left the command canal. We don't need to stop at Quakers. Oh, yeah, I have something awaits though. I may as well dock at port to use my something awaits. I already have the port report for Quakers Haven, but maybe I can get something else interesting. We get drinks, which lowers terror. We talked about this last time we were here. We do have 24 terror, so lowering terror is not the worst idea. Otherwise, we just explore either the town or the hilltop. I think I did the shore last time. Here's where you can buy supplies, 30. So that's the same price as they were. I'm gonna write that down in Baker. I'm gonna start keeping track of like the price for fuel at different places. So it's 30. So supplies are 30. How did I write this for Fall in London like this? Fuel 10, supplies 20. I'll write this way. So fuel is 20. Supplies are 30. I'm gonna start just doing this for notes so that I can quickly see at each town what they sell fuel and supplies for. I gotta do it with parentheses. Sure, whatever. I just want it to be consistent. Okay, so we can do top of the hill is where you get terror and fragments. I definitely do need more fragments. Or just do the explore, which is like a random generated encounter, I think, basically if you do explore the shore. Midnight ceremony. There's no midnight ceremony. Let's just do the hilltop. There's not much wind on the Unterzee, but Mutton Island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicable local fragment of weather, and the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. Little hill up here on the picture. Toasting the wind. You stand on a clifftop looking over the little village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upwards. As you watch, the smoke tilts. The sudden wind thins to a pencil smudge, and then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly like a god cut in half. What a noise. It must be the caves around the island channeling the air. At least that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals each take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. You've gained 2 terror. Nervous. Gained 32 fragments. That's 85 more for a secret. That's all for now. Okay, so we're done here for now. We don't need to buy supplies because we're headed back to London. Any reason to try to explore this before we go back to London? I don't think so. We might go that direction next time. And I'm about to be down to 0 supplies, so the crew may get a little nervous when I run out of my last crate of supplies. So yeah, let's just head back to London here. Don't want to scare the crew. Although they should be able to see that we're near London, so like, how worried would they really be? Presumably not much. So we're going to turn in our... We finished the strategic information quest for the Admiralty, so we're going to turn that in. We're going to turn in all our port reports. And we'll get a new strategic information quest. There was a traveler who wanted to go north that was in town. Maybe we'll go north next time. The lights of London welcome you home. Alright, so we clicked our messages. We did this last time. Someone wants to sign on. Something has changed. The blind bruiser. This is the guy who gave us some supplies last time. Apparently he was like a mobster. Or he was a shady figure, it said. He gave us some free supplies, but he said he might want a favor in return. So maybe that's what's going to happen here. He's going to ask for a favor in return. And we have a free night. We have a free evening. Yep, here he is. A little proposal. Good evening, citizen, and what a marvelous evening it is, if you don't mind my saying so, and given it is my impression you are an obliging sort, I imagine you will not mind at all. And since you are so very obliging, perhaps you wouldn't mind a little detour via Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo if you happen to be in the area. The cheery man will of course cover your expenses for this trifling inconvenience. You will need at least 1 unit space in our hold. I believe we'd have that. You can accept this commission. It is, after all, a trifling inconvenience. Well, I don't have a particular destination yet. I don't mind going to Mount Palmerston. Ask if there's another task you perform. I am hesitant. Perhaps you find Mount Palmerston unbearable. Who could blame you? Or refuse. Your hold is full. No, we can accept the commission. He did, after all, give us a bunch of supplies last time. If you'd be so kind to deliver this little gift to our friends in Mount Palmerston, then they will see we get to hear about it. And when you come back, we'll cover your expenses. Bon voyage, as my aunt, who was French by birth, if not by inclination, used to like to say. Mount Palmerston is generally somewhere northeast of London. Okay, well, that's a direction we haven't gone yet. We now have 1 crate, unstamped crate of brilliant souls, a crate of exceptional human souls. It has never known the tender touch of the Imperial Customs stamp. Consequently, it cannot be sold in the open market, and you better not be caught with it. Did I already go through customs? I hope I already went through customs. Okay, well, we need to go to Mount Palmerston. Oh, I gotta remember to sell my extra gun. Take crate of souls to Mount Palmerston. Northeast. Okay, there's a tattoo parlor. This wasn't here last time. There's also a merchant venturer. An urchin tugs on your sleeve. Let's turn on our port reports first. Pass on the strategic information we got. Satisfactory. Eminently satisfactory. Take this for your trouble. We've earned favors, now 4. You can exchange favors for 2 to 3 points of... 1 favor will give you 2 to 3 fuel. We might end up doing that, we'll see. Let's go ahead and submit our port reports that we have collected. Command Canal. Well, if you've been there, I suppose we may as well hear about it. The fee is nominal, though. Submitted. 5 echoes. That's very nominal. The Iron Republic. Excuse me, I need to unlock this. And this. Oops, and this. Could you place your report inside? Yes, I imagine someone will read it eventually. There's always someone. Voomph. No, I didn't expect that to happen. Well, perhaps it's for the best. Some reports should not be reported. No, don't concern yourself. This was my 3rd best suit, and the Admiralty offers a modest allowance for document-related damage. Perhaps it's best that you leave now, though. Good day. I gained 4 terror for turning in that port report. But he gave me 3 fragments, which is not very much. It's kind of harsh. 4 terror just for turning in your port report. I wasn't done turning in port reports, was I? No, I still have Visage. Ah, the island that looks up. I don't suppose you found out what it's staring at. No, I don't think that I did. Ooh, 40 echoes. That's nice. Another favor, up to 5. You now have an accomplishment. Surveyed Visage. You have seen the isle where 1 face only is permitted. Okay. Grand Geode. The Grand, yes. Yes, of course. We're generally quite well informed on that topic, but since you're here, perhaps you may as well let us know what your own impressions were. It was like a military base, basically, so they are in contact with it. Makes sense. Report submitted. The Admiralty official takes notes scrupulously, but with an expression of mild terror, like a novice vivisector wincing with a scalpel. The rest of the office studiously busy themselves with other tasks. Only 10 echoes, even though it's pretty far away. Where do these accomplishments show up, I wonder, a little bit after I've turned the last of the port reports. Quaker's Haven. Been trying the original rubbery lumps, have we? That's the one that's just south of town. Only 5 echoes. Let's pick up our next mission for strategic information. This one. Ask if there's anything in particular he needs. He wants to go to Polythreme, somewhere good east of London. Polythreme, east of London. We want to go northeast for Mount Palmerston and east for Polythreme. Maybe we'll go straight east, try to find Polythreme, and then head north. That's one option. So we could get fuel. We have plenty of fuel. I guess we don't have that much fuel. We have 12. But didn't we just get a bunch? Yeah, we have 16 now. Don't think there's anything else to do with the Admiralty's office. We don't have anything else there. What is this fellow? A visit to Clathermont's tattoo parlor. You are a real sailor now, after all. You could go one of these tobacco and prey places by the docks, but the prices at Clathermont's are reasonable, and his daughters are real artists. By what sign will you choose? The Dauntless Hand. Commemorate your daring. This will increase your iron by 2 permanently and cure up to 25 pence of terror. Ooh, that would be nice. Do have 30 terror. It requires a tail of terror, which I do have. The Wheel of Mists. And I do want to increase my iron. In theory, like I'm trying to do an iron-based character. She's not, that's not me, but like this is me over here, Duncan. Duncan the Sailor, the war veteran. Okay, so we don't have any Z stories. We do have a memory distance story, so it'll increase your mirrors. My mirrors is lower than my iron, so that might actually be better. Hearts, you can exchange visions as a service. I'm assuming I have all this written down in my notes, right? Let's see. London, the tattoo parlor. I didn't write this stuff down. Okay, well, it's fine for now. Moves is a great game for pages. Well, let's get a tattoo. Again, we're like a war veteran, so let's commemorate our daring. I mean, this also would be nice to do, but let's get a tattoo of our to commemorate our daring. I think that's something that a war veteran would do. A new you. The gold needle pricks. Lily Clathermont hums. The design is complete. Scales, mapping your fingers like a gauntlet. Wear it proudly. You've gained 2 iron. You lost 1 of your Tales of Terror and 25 of your terror. And gained an occurrence. Memoirs your own sweet skin quality is now the Dauntless Hand. What sign do you bear? Your own sweet skin quality is a Dauntless Hand. Just curious where that's tracked. Your own sweet skin. It's one of the memoirs. What sign do you bear? The Dauntless Hand. I am a soldier with a Dauntless Hand tattoo. And I have sunstroke. But only 1. Okay. What else can we do while we're here? Let's visit the wharf. Still don't have any of these options, so that's not going to be useful for us. The Alarming Scholar. Could give him a Memory of Distant Shores. We could give him a Searing Enigma. I only have 1 of them. Let's see what these options do in my notes here. Memory of Distant Shores gives you 10 echo and some rap with him. Searing Enigma, question mark. I don't think I want to turn it in yet. I'd like to have it with me in case there's a quest somewhere else that... Maybe if I have when I get 2 Searing Enigmas, maybe I'll come back and give 1 to him. Do I want rap with him and 10 echoes? Not sure that I'm anywhere close to doing anything interesting with his rep. So let's just go and keep our memories for now. Maybe we'll use them for something else. Okay, we have a free evening. We can go carouse the docks. That seems like something we'll probably end up doing. We don't need more crew. We actually do need repairs. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so what are options for repairing? You can exchange 1 point of Admiralty's favor for 2 to 3 fuel, but there's a challenge aspect of it. I don't need to exchange my favor for fuel at the moment. I'll do a bad job for a decent price. If you're badly damaged short of money, this is worth a go. I'm not badly damaged, I'm like somewhat damaged. Reliable work is will completely repair your hull for 100 echoes. Or you can pay 25 and 3 favors to also complete. So if you want to spend money, if you probably spend 25 and 3 favors as opposed to 100. Good enough for now. Or you can employ the Ratus Faber engineers. But you cannot do that if you have a cat. Okay, so you can't use the rats to repair your ship if you have a cat on your ship. Well, we have a cat, so I guess we can't do this. Also, we don't have 3 supplies. We won't be doing that. So what does this option do? If you're badly damaged and short of money, this is worth a go. Do I have notes on what this actually does? No. Let's just try this once to see what happens. Wait, it's only 75 versus 100 though? I'm not going to replace this ship, am I? I'll check the price of which was the one that I actually wanted. I want one that has more hold capacity. You could buy this one, but this one's like big and slow. It's got a lot of hold capacity. But I'm still exploring. I'd rather do the exploring part of the game with a faster vessel. And then once I know exactly like where the routes are, I can kind of go slowly directly between different points. But until I figured out where the different ports are, I'm not sure that I want to be in that one. This one I would love to have, but it's 14,000. Yeah, we're not anywhere close to this. Almost double the hold capacity. Tons more HP. Your hull is basically your HP, so you could do a lot more combat with this ship, as well as some other changes. And it has more weapon slots, forward, aft. But yeah, we don't have enough for that. So I think my current plan is to maybe I'll get this one for 3,000 when I actually have. I can actually buy this now. And it has over double the hull. I can actually do some combat. It does have double the weight, which probably means it'll burn more fuel. But it does have a forward gun as well. So it definitely allowed me to do more combat. Also gives you an iron bonus, has more room for crew. I'd have to sell some of my heirlooms, obviously. I have to sell like 3 of them. Is that worth it in the interim before... Like I said, I just stated that I'm in more of the exploratory phase of the game. So maybe being half the weight is better for now. Okay, well, let's keep the current ship then. Do I want to pay for repairs? I don't think I need to. It fully repairs you. Yeah, I don't think I need to. Oh, to north. Oh, this is the other thing I was going to do this time. Since we're going to be heading north, let's go ahead and do this. Offer passage to a tomb colonist. An emigrant will pay you to be taken north to Venderbite. It's highly difficult to die and fall in London, but when a Londoner is too tatty and wretched to live, they wrap themselves in bandages and take ship for the tomb colonies. Your crew cart these ones aboard in padded coffins. They'll sleep there until the journey is done. The tomb colonies in your hold take them north to the colony of Venderbite and sell them there. Okay, well, that matches our plan. We were planning to head north. We haven't talked to the merchant venturer yet. Let's just see what he has to do real fast. An urgent touch your sleeve. Governor wants word. A brooding figure waits at the lamp light's edge. Speak to the merchant venturer. I have need of a reliable agent, failing that, an inventive one. Here are my requirements. An opportunity for profit. He has very specific needs, but he'll pay much better than market rates. He won't ask how you came by these things. I have the venturer's venture. Step 1, a dream and a scheme. He has a plan. He's a schemer, huh? The venturer has a request. Speak to him further or check your journal. Something spicy. I will need your help. He has made 2 requests. You can fulfill either one. So in Wither, you can get 7 Muter Salts. Or in Mount Palmerston, which is where we're going, you can get 500 for 7 barrels of the things. You won't find a better price. Okay. So, let's take note of this. This is the venturer. You can either do 7 Muter Salt, which he says is from Wither, or you can do 7x Devil Bone Dice, which he says is from Mount Palmerston, which is actually where we plan on going anyway, so. Well, we happen to have notes, so let's see how much would 7 Devil Bone Dice cost when we get to Mount Palmerston. Make sure we can bring enough money for that. They're 19 each, 7, so 7 times 20, like 140-ish. So we definitely have enough money for that. 914. Okay, just making plans for our next voyage here. We already looked at that. I don't think we need to go to the labyrinth again. That's for some creatures that we don't have. Okay, well, let's spend our free evening carousing the docks. You were fortunate. You lost all your terror. You lost 10 echoes, and you have recent news. Oh, trouble and romance. That night in Wolfstack, you find yourself sharing a table with a likely lass. She tipsily claims to be a spy. Whatever she is, she's easy to like, and when the evening ends, you're still together. A dapper chap, an elegant fellow with a presbyterian accent, and an unexpectedly delighted laugh. Lightning then it seemed natural that he should accompany you home. For someone whose name you do not afterwards recall, your only love is the Z. You take comfort and find it where it is. So this is a romance option. There are other things you can do with romance, so you can romance your officers as well. I think my fellow is relatively dour. He's a veteran of a war. I think I will stick with someone whose name you do not afterwards recall. Your only love is. I don't think I'm gonna do a romance yet for this character. Yeah, our only love is the Z. A relaxing evening. Together you exercise the chill of the neath. When you wake, you're alone, but that's how you've always preferred it. I just feel like this character would do that. Okay, we don't need more crew. We don't need repairs. We already talked about that. But we do have this. What is this new recruit? Who awaits your attention? Someone wants to sign on. On later visit, different officers will sometimes be available. If there's more than one choice, you can choose one per visit. You can engage the genial magician. What type of officer is he? The only one we need is an engineer at the moment. A tireless mechanic. He could be the engineer. I think he might be an engineer, right? Or you can just increase your crew by 1, which we could do, but don't necessarily need to. I don't know what type of officer the genial magician is. Do I have any notes on that? With my notes on the characters up here. Monsters, crew, magician. I don't have a note on what he does. I have some notes about his personal mission, dispelling the darkness. Does use parabolin, which I happen to have some of. The other one is the tireless mechanic. I have some notes about that. I would like someone who increases your veils and fuel efficiency. Well, this guy does veils and mirrors. I just don't know if the magician, like, which slot is he? Is he a first officer? Is he an engineer? He can't be an engineer, right? A genial magician. Let's see if I choose this one, if it's like, if I can back up or not. Okay, you cannot back up, so we have this guy. Welcome aboard. Spot of rust, spot of rust. Soon see to that. You there, help me with this spot of rust. You now have the tireless mechanic. Okay. Hello, hello. Busy now, but always got time for you. Invite him to dine with you. His tastes are Spartan. He eats little, drinks only water, barely sleeps at all, so you only lay a simple table. You can spend secrets with him to increase your veils. I have 4. Before we use our last supply, let's get some more supplies from the shop. Like I said, I seem to recall there are some negative events that can occur if you have 0 supplies. I don't know if it would occur while you're in port, but let's just be safe here. An appeal. Thanks for the meal and the company. No wine. No wine. It makes me sleepy. Oh yes, I can sleep. Too easily, that's the problem, he hesitates. There's a drought. I take nightly to substitute for sleep. It works well enough, and it keeps me sane and upright, but I wish I could enjoy just one night's sleep. If you could help me... We need a clay man from Polythreme. Oh, don't we actually... That's one of the things we want to do, right? Go to Polythreme. Yeah, that's our strategic information quest. We need a clay man from Polythreme. You'll need a mirror catch box, We'll need to go to Hunter's Keep. I'll explain when we get there. No, I'm serious. Mirror catch boxes are rarely sold in London, but it can be found in the Khanate and elsewhere. Okay, so this is the mechanic. Tireless mechanic. He wants a Clayman from Polythreme. He wants a mirror catch box from Khanate or elsewhere. And then afterwards, then go to Hunter's Keep. I like to put the place names in bold. Okay. Occasionally elsewhere. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think any other character. No, I don't have any strange catches. So here you can romance as well. I might end up doing that. I don't know if I've ever romanced this character or not. But we'll have to spend some more time with her before we romance her. I could do this. You need 5 supplies and you need 5 torpedo components. Let's sell our gun while we're thinking about it. Get that out of our hold. Let's buy, what did I say, it was 5 torpedo components? Yeah, 5 torpedo components. Let's buy 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He says it requires 5 supplies. Let's make sure we have at least 6. Let's see what he does. Buy the cannoneer time with you. I've had enough to eat, thank you. I don't eat much, but I'd like to demonstrate some ideas I've had. Can you meet me on the afterdeck at 8 bells? Flowers of Flame. The cannoneer has found ways to calibrate your weapons for additional death and explosions. When the smoke clears, however, it is impossible to deny that the risk and expense of most of these tricks is a little too great. Only a couple of minor modifications are safe to use. But do you know, the cannoneer says, squinting thoughtfully, it reminds me of a story. The Iron and Misery Company were testing something. Destroyed one of their outlying stations. Destroyed it to bits. If you can find me the prototype, I can make it work for us. Can you take me to Demo Island? I used to know the factor there. You might talk. Okay. Cannoneer. Take to Demo Island. Okay. So we lost 5 of our supplies, 5 torpedo components, 10 fuel. Holy moly. I did get an iron, 77 fragments, and a tale of terror. But I lost a lot of stuff. I'm glad I did this in town. Like if you were in the middle, the middle of the ocean, and you talked to this guy and did that mission, you'd be like, that's not so good. Okay, so we're gonna need to buy more fuel and more supplies, obviously. Remind me again what our cargo size is. 19 out of 40. Let's get up to at least 10. Let's get up to... last time we were low on supplies. Let's go to 10 on that. I feel like we're going to need more than 10 fuel. And I said we needed like 120 or 140 or something to buy stuff in Mount Solace. I think I'm going to sell one of my heirlooms just to have a little bit more pocket cash. That one was worth 1,048. Down to 6 though. I can only do this here while I'm in London, so if I don't do it now and I need money later on, I wouldn't have it with me. Just double checking that I haven't have anything to do in my study, which I don't. Don't need to rest, don't need to sell my mansion, don't need to retire. Okay, I think we've done everything we need to do in London, unless we want to repair. I don't think we do, because we're not really doing combat at the moment, so we're trying to avoid combat. I'm not as worried. We are talked to the Alarming Scholar, the Adventurer's Desire. Okay. I think we're ready to leave. We stocked up on fuel and supplies. We sold the gun we didn't need. Still have 1 flare in case we need it. Although those are more important when you're using them in combat. We have our mission for strategic information, which is in Polythreme. Okay, yeah, let's head out. Let us head out. We have no terror. Oh, the only question is, we want to go north first or east first? Let's go north first. 'Cause I think we have a couple things we need to do. Oops. We need to take this dude to the tomb colonies, which they said was to the north. We need to go to Polythreme, which is to the east. I think it said pretty far, like pretty far east of London. So maybe we'll go north to the tomb colonies. Then we'll go east to Mount Palmerston. And then maybe we'll go south to Polythreme and try to do like a loop back to town. I sold an extra gun, we did that. Oops. Just making sure I'm currently doing this. Take the tomb colonist north. Haven't gone to the Sea of Lilies, haven't gone to Port Cornelian. Someday I want to try going to the Iron Republic with more than 70 Terror. But we're not doing that at the moment. Okay, yeah, let's head north. Try to find the tomb colonies. We haven't gone north yet. We could stop at Hunter's Keep to get the port report along the way. So let's just check in on the direction there. We don't want to dock until we have something awaits though, so we should probably get it right about the time we get up there. Don't have it yet though, so let's just do a little bit of exploring until we get to something awaits. Alright, we have something awaits. Let's go ahead and turn back to Hunter's Keep. We got a little exploring done. Yeah, so the lighting affects how fast your terror goes up. I like to toggle it on and off now and then just to kind of like manage my terror. Okay, so we can launch with Cynthia, Lucy, or Phoebe. Last time we did Cynthia. We could share our recent news? No, we cannot. It's only when you have nothing awaits you that you can share the news. We can get the port report. We're definitely going to do that. You guys want the port report? Visit the cellar. Oh, this is the Tireless Mechanics mission. We have to have the mirror catch box as well as some other stuff. The clay man. Just one of each of these things, which we already have. I won't make note of that. Okay, well we don't have this stuff yet, so we're not going to do his quest. Last time we did Cynthia, she gave us the... it was a Gods of the Sea. We got Salt's attention when we talked to her. I don't know if it's good. Actually, in none of my playthroughs have I really done anything particular with the Gods of the Sea that I can remember. But again, it was like 10 years ago, so I don't actually know what to do with the God's attention. Maybe we'll try a different God's attention. Maybe if you get all three of them, something happens. I don't know. Let's see. This is the Hunter's Keep. So we did Cynthia, and we got Salt's attention. We actually don't need negative terror, but I guess we'll just do Phoebe next, and then we'll get her. We'll see if we get Storm's attention as well. All right, Phoebe. Phoebe is soft-voiced, watchful, unpredictable. Here's a story. Phoebe has a story to tell, of two lovers parted by water, of a raven that carried messages, of a fragment of the moon. She beats time on the table as she speaks, as if to a song only she can hear. The effect is hypnotic. Your attention drifts out through the skylight of the dining room, to the false stars glittering in the roof of the cavern. You drift like a puffball spore, the Unterzee shimmers below. Islands lie like mineral specimens on black velvet. Ships bob like wood chips between the islands. Vast, spine things pulse in the depths. There's a scent like the scent before a storm. The storm came, says Phoebe quietly. Everything changed. Somewhere in there you finish the last course. The scowling maid reluctantly serves cheese and Bath Oliver biscuits. So her story was the story of Storm. An ancient anger now knows you. beat time as like thunder or whatever, probably. False stars glittering. Huh. Fast spine things. The Storm King, everything changed. Huh. You are now acquainted. I've lost hunger, gained supplies. I don't think there's anything left to do here now. I could give them news. What does that do in my notes here? I didn't. Oh, recent news. Oh, it unlocks the sisters again. Oh, so you can talk to them again if you give them news. Well, I'd rather save my news for a different town. So we're off again. Alright, we're gonna head north. I'm gonna try to go along the coastline just to explore the first time. Sort of my strategy. Ooh, there's a ship. Again, I'm not. I guess can probably kill this guy. I have plenty of supplies and fuel this time. Oh, got him. You've destroyed a pirate steam pinnace. The ship is yours. What will you do with her? Loot and scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel, and these seas aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. Lean pickings. You've finished opening a cache of curiosities. A box full of mystery. Open it. These pinnaces don't sail far from the hidden harbors, but there's something at the back of the hold. A stout crate. Crates! The source of sustenance and the fundamental element of cargo. A crate of fuel. Coke, like coal, but more so, as a department of infernal rare factions would have it. You've opened a cache of curiosities to cut to fuel. Okay. Well, that went better than last time I went into combat. Okay, so those pirate pinnaces are pretty weak. We can remember that for the future. We can definitely fight those things without any problems. Died in one hit. Again, I have an upgraded gun on this because I inherited from my my legacy. Discovered the prick finger wastes. Discovered the flock of bats outside the tomb colonies. That's where we're going, the tomb colonies. So I guess we found it already. Davies Bay. Let's just unlock the map here if we can. So we know that we've already been here. A sticky yellow light glimmers for a moment and fades. Is there a way to fill in this section of the map? Discovered Harper's Ferry. Not sure if there's a way to fill that section of the map in or not. This black chunk here. Discovered Carissa's Point. It's supposed to be the tomb colonies, because it said we were near them here. Flocks of bats outside the tomb colonies. Is this the tomb colonies? Where's the dock? It's not on the map yet. Honeman Stag. I don't see a dock over there. Tana Chuk. I don't see a dock. Oh, here's a dock. Venderbite. This is the dock here. Oh, Venderbite, that's where we're going. That's where we're delivering the tomb colonist. Nice. We have something awaits. Yes, we do. The trouble with tomb colonists. You brought this to King Emigrant North. Now what? One last fight. Your passenger has been drinking. He's a corpse wrapped in bandages. I guess he's not a corpse yet. Ahoy, she chortles. Defend yourself. She launches a tipsy assault. Your crew hang back chuckling. Thanks, crew. Straightforward challenge. Your iron gives you a 100% chance to succeed. An effortless defense. Tomb colonists have a lifetime of bitter experience. Some of them are the deadliest combatants under the earth. Possibly this one is, when she hasn't drunk quite so much rum. You'll never know. She salutes you, laughing, after you disarm her. Good fight, she opines. Then she staggers backwards and falls over the side. You never do find what happened to her, but at least you have her rather magnificent cavalry saber and her belongings. You've brought a tomb colonist to Venderbite and defeated them in an unexpected duel. You now have one outlandish artifact. This belongs in a museum. Assuming the colonial imperial appropriation for the purpose of hegemonic taxonomization is a suitable response to the problem of intercultural contact, which it probably is because museums are magnificent institutions. If you made a will, you can convert these to heirlooms. Okay, so this is how this is one of the things you can pass on to your scion for money. Gained an iron. Lost your tomb colonist and gained 2 supplies. Okay. I am at the tomb colonies. If you die in Fallen London, we can update our notes that we no longer need to do that anymore. Done that. The tomb colony of Venderbite. On deck, you can hear the sound that 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. It's something like the world's most restless concert audience or the world's most plague-ridden cathedral. One of the tomb colonists makes an obvious interest in your crew, specifically the Cledery hair. We can probably do that. Let's get the port report first. Always like to get that out of the way. There we go. Gather gossip. Who's plotting what out in the tomb colonies? Along the coasts of Unterzee, it is remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become the tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. Okay, I've got the port report. There's something here we can maybe do. This will replace 12 supplies, 12 tomb colonists. Holy crap, 12. I think I would need more hold space to dedicate to 12 of them to be colonists. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would take up like my entire hold of just these colonists. Maybe I'll come back for this later. Let's make a note of that. Venderbite. Oops. Venderbite. Why am I not typing the word Venderbite? Come with more hold space. Need 12 spaces to carry colonists. The last tour operator, so you're gonna take these tomb colonists on a tour around. They'll take you to 3 destinations in the Unterzee. Okay, we're not gonna do this because we don't have enough hold space for that at the moment. Well, someone's trying to get our attention. Let's see what this is all about. Voiceless. The tomb colonist draws you a little way away from the clattery air. Don't tell me you met her. Don't tell her you met me, he says in a hoarse rasp. Her mother cut my voice. Hoped to fix it so I wouldn't be able to look for my daughter. So I wouldn't want to, he wheezes. Didn't work. Operation's never completely effective. Need to know my daughter well. My daughter's well. Happy. Finding enough patients. Getting enough to eat and so forth. Okay, so this is her father, apparently. In exchange for the simplest news, he explains himself, I'm her father. Okay, well, yeah. Ordinary engineer, not the sort of parent she would want. If you wish to tell the heir about this encounter, you can do so by speaking to her. You have met the father of the Cledery heir. You can tell her the truth if you know more about her. If you had the strange catch, perhaps she would say more about her father. Or you can proposition to her. So basically I need to have a strange catch, I think, before I can unlock her story any further. I still have Something Awaits. What can we do in here with Something Awaits? We don't have the submarine, so we can't do this. Don't have the submarine, so we can't do that. We don't have 25 terror. This probably just reduces terror. Glass of wine. It's like a lot of the towns have like pubs or places where you can spend the evening to reduce your terror. Looks like we'll probably be exploring Venderbite. Let's do this first though. Visit the first curator. Z Captains, the first curator gives audience. The first curator is responsible for the preservation of the tomb colonies. It has been here for much longer than London, like all the oldest tomb colonists. But even tomb colonists dissolve in the end. It's time, it's close. The first curator's manse. No more light, the obsequious steward cautions you. The curator is terribly afraid of moths. He opens the door and you step into near darkness. A pair of luminous lamplighter bees buzz in a latticed ivory tube. There's no other source of light. A bandaged shape no larger than a child lies crumpled on a couch. It lifts its head with obvious effort. It takes several seconds for you to distinguish its voice from the soft buzz of the bees. So it's a very old tomb colonist. He can barely lift himself off the couch, apparently. You can listen to his whispered request. You can ask him about the Grand Sanatorium. You can accept his commission, or you can depart. Well, let's listen to what he says. Z Captain, silk skin, not much left of me. I will go into the Grand Sanatorium. Bring me colors, 7 colors. Pay well. 7 colors? Cosmogone, Irigo, Peregrine, Stewart has the list. Find them here and there across the wide black Z. Okay. Ask about the Grand Sanatorium. One hears the name whispered here and there in the arcades of Vanderbite. A long, low chuckling. Oh, Silkskin, you don't want to know. The chuckling becomes a cough. We don't die here below. Not unless we go to Z. So we needed something else, somewhere to end. The Grand Sanatorium. Okay, well, let's accept the commission. Thank you. This poor flesh thirsts for colors. No more words. It collapses, rustling back on the couch. Even the little effort of speaking seems to have diminished it a little. The audience is over. As the door opens, it shrinks from the finger of light that reaches across the floor. Outside, the obsequious steward nods. The book? Yes, the book. He hands you a slim, illustrated volume. The curator is old, old as dust. We will all be grateful if you do it this one last favor. You now have one of this, The Neathbow, a book for children. One page is devoted to each of the colors of the Neath, which are not found on the surface. Return to the curator with each of the 7 impossible colors in hand. The book's pages will give you clues, but you'll need to seek far reports. A wakes Opsian, the blue of memory and brightest coral. C lights Cosmogone, the color of remembered suns. The fecund, the photid, the fungal, these flourish in the glow of Cosmogone. Okay, G is for Gant, I is for Irigo, P is for Peregrine, V is for Violent. Okay, I think I have all this in my journal here, right? So I don't need to like write this stuff down. That would be a lot to take note of. Which mission is this? Is it an item? Is it in the hold? The Neathbow. Okay. Oh, here they are. Each of the colors. Here we go. A, C, G, I, P, V. Okay. I'm not going to make any specific notes because there's so many of them right now. I'll probably just find them randomly as I'm playing the game. But when I get down to like the last 2 or 3, maybe I'll make more specific notes about the ones that I have left to get still. I'll make a note that I have the quest though. This is the Book of Colors. 7 in total. So I'm not going to make a note of each individual thing, because like I said, I expect I'll find some of these just as I'm playing the game. But then maybe when I get down to the last few, I'll make more specific effort to find the last ones. We still have something awaits? We do? Okay, I guess it's just this one, Explore Vanderbite. Here they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb columnists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. We've encountered a raggedy fellow. Citizen, I am a good Z-man. I'm yours if you will have me. Will you have me? I'm hungry. I'll work hard. He seems likely enough, if a little haggard and sorrowful. Take him with you. You could use an extra hand. Leave him here. Strangers are too chancy. You've heard stories about things in the shape of sailors, or you just don't like his face. Unlocked when you have no more than 9. You have 9. Pay his passage home as an act of generosity. 250 echoes. Well, I don't want to do that. Okay, I mean, I guess I could use one more crew. Why not? The way through the waves. All the way back to the ship, he talks excitedly about the Z-Man's craft. You start paying attention when he mentions navigational tricks you hadn't come across. With luck, he'll work as hard as he talks. There may be further effects from this decision. Oh, I gained a Veils. I mean, that's not bad. And I've gained 1 crew. Now 10. Okay, can't do these. We don't have a submarine. We already talked to the first curator. I assume there's nothing else to do here at the moment. Yeah, you can receive your final reward once you have all the colors, so we don't have the colors yet. And we're not going to do the last 2 because we don't have a lot of hold space. We already talked about that. Alright, so now we are looking to get to... we're pretty close to the top of the map. We're trying to find Mount Palmerston next, but we'll just follow the map along the north and explore along the way. $12 supplies, 13 fuel. Discovered Pickett's Bluff. There's a bat swarm coming for me. Or is it? I wasn't exactly sure where to fire at there. Bat swarm defeated. We did take a little bit of hull damage. Little leathery corpses lie scattered along your deck. The rest of the swarm vanishes in the other deck. Gather up the corpses into the pot. I don't have much hunger, though I do have some. Dispose of the corpses. This reduces terror. I don't have much terror, so let's just gather the corpses into the pot. Oh, I get 1 supplies. That's never bad. 1 terror. Not an issue at the moment. The little bones are troublesome, and the flesh is quite gamey, but salt them well enough, and they're quite edible. Okay. Well, I wouldn't necessarily have engaged with them, but they attacked me, so it is what it is. Just checking as far as the map defogging progress here. There's a Lorn Fluke, I think. Those are pretty tough to fight, if I recall correctly. That might not be a Lorn Fluke, but either way, it's a larger looking animal there. Maybe it's like an iceberg or something. I probably have the name of it written down somewhere. Discovered Sensor's Arch. Okay. Somehow I missed this section of the map. I was trying to go along the coast, but oh well. So we can sail under Sensor's Arch, yep. Discovered Andergard Harbor. Wither. Oh, I had something for Wither. I think one of the things for the cannon, for the, this guy had something to do in here. Wither, a chilly city beside a waste of salt. Oh, wow, they sell fuel and supplies for stories. I didn't check if vendor bites sold anything. Oops, my bad. I'm gonna check the shops. Okay, this is Wither. Wither. Supplies 2 Tales of Terror. I'm gonna write here. Fuel is 1x Z story. Is it story or Zori? This is Dory with a Z. Supplies are 2 Tale of Terror. Probably will not be doing that very often, but just in case I ever needed to. You can sell an anatomical cabinet. You can sell the figurehead of the Eater of Names for different things. Okay, I guess we go here first. The House of the Question. Northwest of Wither Town, the House of the Question stands alone. Here, the initiates of the house make offerings to the 3 gods of the deep sea, and perhaps a 4th who is not a god. It's the one place in Wither where you can sometimes get a straight answer for a price. Gaining the attention of a god is useful chiefly for lifting curses. Gain stone's attention. Flame burns trilling the shrine. Bring fuel for a flame. Assuming I've noted these down. Gain storm's attention, gain salt's attention, gain stone's attention. I actually didn't write down stone's attention. Gain stone's attention. Requires a watchful curio. Watchful curio, as well as money. But I'm not going to write the money part of it down. Okay, I don't see any reason why I would want to do that. You have to have stone's attention first, or not have stone's attention, one of the two. Is that the one I didn't talk to with the 3 ladies? 3 sisters? Yeah, I have salt and storm's attention, but I don't have stone's attention. I can ask about the drowned man. The initiates of the house are reluctant to speak to him, but you may be able to bribe them enough to gain a few snippets. I don't know who the drowned man is. It's 100 echoes. I didn't make notes of what that does. Defy the gods. Spit on the floor. Curse the priest. Overturn an altar. I'll go ahead and add this note here. Ask about the drowned man. 100 echoes. Does what? Don't know. This will increase your iron and terror by 5 each, up to 110, but set your terror to 0. But you will never be able to remove any god's curse. Okay, well, I don't feel in particular need to do that. Let's go to the town of Wither. Behind the great arch over the bay, the pale wastes stretch, white and silent as the face of the moon. From here, you might almost imagine they were snow. North of the city, the salt pools fizz with unlikely color. Explore the town. You can do that. Gather intelligence. Get the port report. We'll definitely do that. The citizens of Wither enjoy questions, so much so that they always answer a question with another question. This can make intelligence gathering rather frustrating. Are you asking for any particular reason? At what time of day? Is that your ad? Might it be 6? It could be 6. Eventually you cobble together enough implication and supposition to compose a report. Annoying fellows. If we have terror, we can take shore leave. I'm assuming this just gets rid of terror. Shore leave, 50 echoes for -5 terror. Don't need to do that at the moment. Go ahead and explore the town. Wither is a quiet, chilly town of gray stone and closed courtyards. The people are neither exactly unfriendly nor exactly hospitable. They have the irritating habit of... Oh, they already saw that. Fisherfolk, a contest of riddles. Fisherfolk, sailors, and a shitty couple of likely pirates. And is that a drownie down by the water's edge? They sit around a fire at the Z's edge, passing around a bottle of something viscously black. They're wagering on riddles. Will you join them? My pages are fine. We could bet on an echo on a riddle. We could bet 10 echoes for seeking a real challenge. 100 echoes for a high-risk challenge. Attempt one of the riddles of Pearl. Or attempt one of the great riddles of Arem. 20% chance for 1,000 echoes. Well, not doing that. 26% chance for the 100 echo challenge. We could try to do this 40% chance for 10 echoes. I mean, if I lose 10 echoes, it's not a big deal. Okay. Seek a challenge for 10, a real challenge for 10 echoes. Here's a sardonic woman with a pair of matched knives, a silver hoop earring, and a Knight accent. She has a real riddle. The ashes of a fire. She shakes her head slowly. Good try. Not good enough. Okay, well, got 10 fragments at least. But we did not solve the riddle. We don't need shore leave. We're not buying any of these things. All right, we're ready to leave. Finish exploring to the north, then we'll head east, try to find Mount Palmerston. Supplies are good. Fuel's good. Try to defog the map section up here. Doesn't look like you can drive into here though. Yeah, let's, I don't think you can go up there. Like this is the edge of the map. Saw a creature over there. I don't really want to engage it. I only have 48 hull. So I'm going to turn my light off and stay away from it. Codex is some distance to the southeast. Okay. Well, it's not Mount Palmerston, but if that monster wasn't in the way, I would go check it out. Discovered Pucker Ridges Lookout. I'm just trying to stay away from that ice monster that was down there. Something awaits. Could head south. Maybe I'll go to Mount Palmerston, which is I assume is somewhere over here, and then maybe I'll hit this one on the way back. Not sure. So the game has some randomness to it. Like when you start a new mission, like this left side of the screen never changes. This is like the land, Vanderbite Wither, Fallen London, Command Canal, and Iron Republic. That never moves. But the rest of the map is randomly shuffled, essentially. But the general location of the towns stays the same. So like, Gator's Morn is always somewhere to the east of Fallen London. It may not be where it currently is directly east. It could be up here or down here or over here or whatever. But like, it's always somewhere to the east of Fallen London. At least that's the way I understand the game. So Mount Palmerston will always be up here somewhere. I just don't know where exactly it is. All I know is it's northeast of Fallen London. Um, and again, I would have defogged this section up here, but there was an ice monster that was roaming around the seas right here. So I want to avoid until I have a stronger combat ship. I don't see the ice monster at the moment. So Palmerston's Reach. There's brimstone on the wind. Okay, so I think we're near Mount Palmerston somewhere. Is this it over here? This is Codex. Okay, this is the thing that the bat found. It was the bat found Codex. I don't think this is Mount Palm. I think this is different than Mount Palmerston, but we'll check it out while we're here. We have something away, right? Yeah. Codex, an Isle of Answers. A desperate cave full of mute exiles and an inexplicable colony of shivering, bad-tempered monkeys. We don't have a submarine, so we can't agree to whatever this is. We really need to get a submarine, because like all these missions, all these towns that go by, like, have more missions you can do if you have the submarine. But we'll get it eventually. I don't even know where it is exactly. I mean, I wrote down where it is, but I don't remember where in the game this town is. Port Carnelian. I'm not sure where that is. Okay, so we can acquire a doomed monster hunter. We have that one Serenema that we kept instead of giving it to the university scholar. This one has waited all her life for a single answer. Give her the answer and she'll be ready to lay down her life. I don't want to rant, like these are pretty valuable. I don't want to waste my only one unless I actually know what this is for, which I don't. Compile a port report, no one will speak. We definitely want the port report. Exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some are even willing to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar, the meaning's unclear. Even when you can understand, these are answers without questions, as useless as a key without a lock. Okay, well I have the port report. Okay, fuel's 2030 here, so that's not great, but it's acceptable. We're in Codex. Let's write down the fact that fuel is 20, supplies are 30. Yeah, 1x, I have a note of this. 1x Serenema, acquire a doomed monster hunter, whatever that's for. Offer a shivering monkey's a lamentable relic. Was that an option I had? Let's see. No. Okay. Well, there's not really anything to do here. I can't even use my something awaits quality. Unfortunate. Do I need to buy any fuel or... definitely don't need any supplies. Fuel is going down. And I haven't passed anywhere recently that had good prices for fuel. I forgot to check what vendor bite sold. Maybe I'll buy like 2 more fuel while I'm here. It's double the price that it is in London, but better to have a little bit of extra fuel than not have enough. I'm pretty sure Mount Palmerston is not right here. I'll get this filled in next time I come back to Wither. I'm sure I'll have to come back there eventually. And that's where the Book of Colors was, or the Book of Colors was in Benderbite. Okay, well we're looking for Mount Palmerston. It just said northeast of London, so we'll explore a little bit of this section. If it's not up here, maybe we'll head south and explore over here. I can also use the Z-Bat to try to find things. Let's see what he finds. Is that it over there? Mount Palmerston is somewhere to the east. Okay, yep, there it is over there. So we have found the slightly random location of Mount Palmerston. Let's go north on the approach, and then maybe we'll head south when we leave. Can maybe fill in this little section of the map up here before I dock. I haven't found the dock yet. It must be on the right side. I can see it over there, I think. Just get a little bit of map defogging while we're up here, and then we'll loop back around. We also have to find Polythreme, I think was the other place we have to find, which it said was to the east of London. Okay, we get defogged that map section. Let's turn around here, backing up, backing up, backing up. Okay, move forward. Okay, let's go ahead and dock at Mount Palmerston. I may have to get one more chunk of map divide while we're up here. Don't need the light because we're in some type of a ship up here. Again, we're not looking for combat at this point in the game. So we're going to leave our lights off when they're nearby. We want to get a better ship that has a lot more hull before we get into combat with stuff like this, probably. That's my theory, at least. I don't actually know our relative strength. I guess it's not really a combat game, it's just you can engage with it as you go. Okay, so fuel here is only 9. Wow, fuel's really cheap here. This is Mount Palmerston. Let's make a note of that. Palmerston. Where's my notes on Palmerston? Here it is. Fuel is only 9. Any supplies? Supplies are 22. Pretty good price. What were supplies in London? What's like the base cost again? Was it 20? Yeah, 20. Okay. Okay, so the one reason we wanted to come here was to buy these devil bone dice for this guy, I believe. How many was it again? Let's see. I think it was 7, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 7 devil bone dice. Oh, it was for the Venturer. Okay, we'll buy 7 of these. We can also buy ambiguous eolith. We can buy Zoop. We might buy some of this before we leave. Again, you have to be conscious of your hull space, especially in the beginning of the game. Just buying extra items that you don't know that you need could end up, you know, having a downside if your hull ever gets full. All right, we're here at Mount Palmerston. Sullen lights glow green at the jetty's edge. Behind the port buildings, the island is knee-deep in ash. There are ruins here and there of houses destroyed by fire. Far above, the mountain's top flickers red, just for an instant. It's a volcano island. Don't have a submarine, can't do this. This is something awaits thing. You can engage an officer if you have 5 bales of parabolin. I did buy those, not specifically for this mission. I just saw that there was some stuff in my notes that involved 5 parabolin, so I did buy 5 of those when I was at some town that sold them. They are a first officer who increases iron, veils, and hearts. My current first officer increases mirrors and pages. I think you can swap them out, so you can have different officers and swap them out as needed. So I'll probably end up doing that. I don't see any reason not to. Let's get the port report first. There was a revolution in hell, and the aristocracy of devils fled here. Here they plot in exile. Yeah, so there was like an anarchy going on in the hell area. So this is like where the aristocrats fled. It's like Taiwan and China, kind of, right? Like the kings of China were like deposed by the communists, and they fled to exile to an island, kind of like this. Could be related, I don't know. Anyways, a struggle occurs. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there, and we stay down here. If hell's fighting itself, that's good for us, isn't it? Good for all, isn't it? Well, that's good for London. I mean, the port reports are for London, so it's talking about London's perspective on hell's little thing going on here with hell. We can deliver our smuggled goods. Oh, that was the other quest we had to get here. That's right. We had this crate of unstamped goods that the hooded figure gave us. Well, we'll definitely do that. Get rid of that. We can't go back to London with this in our hull, otherwise it'll get flagged by customs. You give a hurried exchange. You give the hooded shape a sign of recognition. It hisses the reply you expected. You hand over the crate and receive a chitty marked with thief sign. You'll receive the promised remuneration in London. Okay, so we delivered this box of souls the shadowy figure gave us to, I guess, the devils. We've delivered souls to the devils. A crate of exceptional human souls. Okay, well the devils now have a crate of exceptional human souls. We can dig among the ruins for 2 supplies. Perhaps the villagers left valuables behind. 60% chance of luck. That doesn't involve something awaits. Just curious if I have any notes on what that does. Dig amongst the ruins. If you lose, you get 5 terror, a memory of distant shores, and you lose 2 supplies. If you succeed, you get a memory of distant shores, 5 terrors, 2 zoop. And you also lose 2 supplies. Okay, so you're going to lose 2 supplies regardless. Oh, it costs 2 supplies, right? You ghoul. So do I want the chance of getting 2 Zoop and 5 Terror and a Memory Distant Shores? Or if I fail, you'll always get the okay, so you'll always get the Memory Distant Shores and the 5 Terror either way. The only question is, will you get the 2 Zoop? I don't have any need for Zoop at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. Let's go ahead and explore the island. Tangles of thorn scrub climb the rocky slopes of the volcano. A privateer encampment. There was an empty cliff top above the bleak waves. Now it blazes with color. Striped tents, colored flames, the music of pianola and kettle drum. Mustachioed women and languorous men play chess, carve bones, eat cats, and polish their terrifying brass weapons. These are Iron Republic privateers, pirates whose practices contravene the very laws of nature. You can attack them. They are numerous, but lost to wine and music. If you have the element of surprise, it's very hard to know exactly what will happen. 50% chance. Creep close and eavesdrop. Yeah, veils are not my strong suit. The Republic is privy to the gossip of hell. Creep close and you may learn impossible secrets. Do I have any notes of what this is? I don't. I think this... Well, we have pretty high iron. I mean, we may as well try to attack. We're not going to succeed at Veil's challenge. Oh, I mean, it's less chance. Let's see what happens here. An unfair fight. The privateers run, yell, and fall, but now one seizes a weapon like a trombone inscribed with blasphemies. It conjures an appalling vibration which converts your sailors to screaming jelly. Uh-oh. Another crouches behind a rock. She employs a kind of mortar which rains down lethal pine cones. They smell delightful, but their perfume causes pine needles to erupt in green masses from your ears, mouths, and necks. It does not sound good. Your crew is lost to bewildered terror. You flee as triumphant privateers celebrate amid flares of red light. You were unlucky. You gained 3 terror. You've lost 3 crew. Well, that didn't go well. Oh, that was something awaits. Interesting. Okay, well, the only thing left... I thought there was one more thing you could do here, but I guess it must have also taken something away. It's because it's gone now. Okay, well, let's get the first officer here. Oh yes, you will do nicely. I need a ship, dear heart, and I rather flatter myself that you need me. Welcome aboard. The modiste neither packs lightly nor suffers fools gladly. One scratch, one solitary scratch on my steamer trunks from you sniveling little homunculi, and I will take the whole blessed lot of you apart at the seams. She turns back, her lips curling into a smile. As I was saying, Captain, you really must try the waters here before our cruise. Most invigorating, Brimstone. Okay, so we have this other officer here. 8 iron, 3 veils, 1 hearts. I think, yeah, she's definitely, unless you need to do mirrors, she has more raw stats than the other one. Let's go and speak to her. Speak to the modiste, merciless modiste, dressed to kill in her own unique fashions. Invite the modiste to dinner. Her dresses were the talk of London society before the scandal. Her tastes are no less refined for her exile. Okay, she needs Zoop, Solace fruit. Okay, so maybe I'll buy some Zoop before I leave. Now that I know there's a reason for it. This is the modiste. Hawk with 1x. Oops. Zoop. 1x solace fruit. I don't know how many of those. I think they sell it in London, maybe. It grows in the wisp ways near the Mangrove College. Okay. In wisp ways near Mangrove College. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and buy a Zoop then. Okay, and you can also trade secrets with her for a risky chance to boost your veils. You may also have other reasons to fight the modiste. Challenge her to her favorite game. Well, I don't currently have other reasons, and I only have a 14% chance, so I'm not going to do that. I will buy 1 Zoop, though. Let's see, is there better places in the game to buy Zoop than 70? Just out of curiosity. 77 in Iron Republic. 70 Mount Palmerston, that's where we're at now. Okay, those are the only 2 places I have in my notes. I'll just buy 1 here. What about an ambiguous Eolith? Do I want to buy any of these before I leave? Eolith. There's a quest in Low Barnet that might use 1. You can buy them in Anth for 30, so they're cheaper in Anth, wherever that is. And you can trade them to the Alarming Scholar. He'll either give you 1 echo or 70 echoes. Averages to 35 is what I've written. But they cost 35. So you're not really gaining anything other than, I guess, you gain like rep with the Scholar. I'll buy one. I mean, my hold's not. I'm gonna head back to London anyway, so like, I can just give it to the Scholar when I get back. And I'm not anywhere close to being running out of hold space, so I'll buy one just to see how it goes. I don't remember exactly what this does, so. Okay, so do I need to buy any fuel to get back to London from here? I mean, it's pretty cheap here anyway. I'm just gonna buy some. In fact, it's cheaper here than it is in London. Just stock up a bit. 37 out of 40. We still have 3 hold spots left. Okay, so we're done here for now. Let's just start defogging the map and making our way back to London. We could get the port report at Gatorsmorn if we wanted to before we stop back, if we head that direction, but I think I'd prefer to get this section unlocked. I feel like I'm going to be spending less time up here in the north in the future and more time to the east, I'm guessing. So let's go ahead and defog, kind of do a little zigzag and sort of defog some of this part of the map as I wind my way back to London. I don't think I have any other missions to do right at the moment. Oh, I still need to go to Polythreme. Oh, that's right. We need to find Polythreme first. Never mind. We're going to go south. We're going to go south until we are east of London, and then we're going to try to find Polythreme. I forgot about that. Okay, so let's make sure we have enough supplies for a bit of a journey here. Oops. We have 20 fuel. That's probably enough. Let's buy a few more supplies. We can only hold 3 more anyway in the hold, right? Let's just buy 3 supplies before we leave. Who knows when we'll have a good chance to get more of them. And I don't actually know where Polythreme is, so... And I do want to hit Polythreme to get the strategic information before I head back to London, so... That is the plan. Just gonna head south, try to defog as much of the map along the way as I can. And find Polythreme. There is something underwater to the south, but we don't have the submarine yet. That doesn't help us. Right, we're actually right where we're at, according to the map. Discovered Bonny Reefs to the south of us. There are no islands though. Just keep sending the Z-Bat out. Demoe Island is nearby to the south. Okay, well we'll check that out. There was somebody who wanted to do something with Demoe Island. What am I in combat with? This guy? I think this is the guy I killed before, right? Didn't die in one hit. Miss me. Hole 35. This is okay, he's turning around. Oh my god, I need to get out of here. Turn off my light. This is not going well. I thought this was an easier one, but it was not easy. Yeah, this is not good. 31 hole. Just Demoe Island. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that. It sounds like it's French in some way. Okay, we need to prioritize getting back to safety, because yeah, I don't want my ship to get scuttled or anything. Should not have attacked that guy. I mean, I thought it was something I could kill with one hit, but it was not. Okay, Demoe Island. 20 fuel, 30 supplies. Fuel is 20. Supplies are 30. Iron and Misery Company Funging Station. Looks like a mushroom town. I&M has a fungur operation here, felling giant bulbous mushrooms for building materials, harvesting Kirali for its medicinal properties. It's a desperate little outpost of something like civilization. Up puffs the affable factor. Oh, hello, Captain. Thank God for visitors. We'd go quite mad out here otherwise. Ahaha. Quite mad. How can we be assistants? Bargain with the factor for a secret. This must be the thing I was thinking about to come here for. Your personal cannoneer is convinced that the factor knows more about a weapon, the company's terrible prototype. You'll need a bribe. It's only fair. 200 echoes. Could do that. Tea with the factor. The poor fellow needs the company and he can spare an hour from his schedule. That's one thing we can do with Something Awaits. Can explore the island. Can do that with Something Awaits. Accept a volunteer. We don't need crew necessarily at the moment. We could do that with Something Awaits if we needed crew. Let's get the port report. Always want to do that. The Admiral likes to keep an eye on Iron and Misery's activities. The business of spores. Of course, I&M's activities here don't seem to be that interesting. Nevertheless, you record what you can. You can gather supplies for a 60% chance. Don't really need supplies. We have 12. Don't need a volunteer. Let's have tea with the factor. Why not? The poor fellow needs the company and he can spare an hour from his schedule. An interlude. You sit on the veranda of the factor's house, looking out over the fungal jungle, an expanse of green and sour gold. The air is thick with hovering spores. The scones are stale. Even the tea has a hint of mildew. But the factor is good company. He shares odd stories about the ice and roses of Irem, the monstrosities of the Sea of Lilies, and a little restaurant in Venderbite where he enjoyed the most extraordinary seafood. Venderbite, I know. I've never met a tomb colonist who could cook, but you must visit the place. Do you know it? We actually just came from there. Or we came from there recently. He also has a load of bulgus frond carted aboard your ship. He weighs away your thanks. I have eaten so much of the stuff I fear that I might be transformed entirely into fungus. He leans confidently towards you. It happens, you know, but one does have to eat rather a lot of it first. Lost 2 terror. Gained 5 fragments and 1 supplies. You've been told of an exceptionally fine restaurant in Venderbite. Okay. I already have something to do in Venderbite. That's the colors thing. Oh no, come with more hold space. Also, there is an exceptionally fine restaurant. For what that's worth. Good to know. We have 200 echoes. We can bargain with him for the secret. The personal cannoneer is convinced the factor knows more about a weapon. The company's terrible product. You will need a bribe. It's only fair. A shared and sordid past. Even with the bribe, the factor is reluctant to talk. But it seems that the cannoneer knew him in the old days, and he's even more reluctant to have the cannoneer talk about the old days. Finally, he gives in. It was a place called Eastaval. Do you know it? It's, a striking place. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. It's east, a long way east. We took it off all the maps. Not that maps last at Z anyway. That's all I know. Travel to Eastfall in the east. Okay. Travel to Eastval. East. Well, I think it's far east, basically, is what it said, right? It just says east, a long way east. Don't need to gather supplies. There's nothing left to buy. I don't need fuel or supplies. I only have 1 spot in my hold anyway. This guy's still ominously hanging around. I assume he de-aggroed. Yeah, he de-aggroed. Okay. Yeah, I still want to find polythreme, although I'm a little scared of only having 31 hull. I just need to be a lot more cautious around anything that's aggro like this. I got plenty of terror. I can run with my lights off for quite a while. That's not a problem. I would like to find polythreme. So where am I? I'm right here. Let's explore this. It's probably going to be over here somewhere because it said east of London. It didn't say northeast. So it'll probably be in this area. Send out the Z-Bat. No islands in range. Doing some defogging. Let's head due east here. And then we'll head south again. Once we get into this map chunk over here. Send the bat out again. Okay, let's head south. There are no islands in range. Something out there with a light, but it could be a ship. Could also be one of those like lights that are in the water. So I'm in the Corsairs Forest again. That's where Gator's Mourn is. I have something awaits. There are no islands in range. We're pretty due east now. So maybe we can find polythreme somewhere over here. Still have plenty of supplies and fuel at the moment. Something down here. No islands in range. Labyrinth of Eels. Keep sending the Z-Bat out, looking for polythreme. So we're about almost close to halfway east of on the map with a fish. We're not interested in any type of combat at the moment. In fact, maybe I'll back up and go north here. Like I said, I'm very worried about taking any hull damage, so I'm gonna flee cowardly from anything that looks dangerous. Still no islands in range. Zoom in a bit. Something here, what's this? Lick a Monkey Crag. It's not polythreme. Not sure how far east I want to go. Do need to be able to get back to London without dying. Station 3 is somewhere to the north. I guess I'll go there. It's not where we're trying to go, but there was something that I wrote in my notes about Station 3. Discover Depot A. Station 3. Another ship over there. We may infer a Station 1 and 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. No shops available. Station 3. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low where they burn at all, and your ship the only one in harbor. Okay, so this is the Lauren fluke that I did in the first play session. So we're going to go ahead and deliver that there. Let's get the port report first, just because I like to do that. It's this one, right? Yeah, port report. Train your telescope on the shore. Might be best to get a look from a distance. Church or something else? Stand on the high point of your ship and look to the shore. There is a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any other symbol that you recognize. And the port report. At the very edge of London's influence, curious matters are conducted. What is this? Search for signs. This is the something awaits challenge. Let's go ahead and deliver the Lauren fluke to observe the student's experiment. He is terribly excited and requests your steadying presence to ensure he maintains the appropriate scientific detachment. After a careful setup, the shed is empty, saving a writing desk and the gigantic mass of needles. The anxious student snaps off the tip of one and twirls it between his fingers. I hypothesize that the flukes have a method of absorbing and storing our lived experiences. It follows, therefore, that there should exist a means of transmitting, reliving that experience. Like so, he stabs the needle through his palm, his eyes dull. You heard Captain Harris, Ailer. Target the Augadi and fire torpedoes. And if you hit one of the Lauren flukes, then by God and Her Majesty, I'll put you out of the airlock and let the spiny bastards take you. He wakes from the reverie a moment later, beaming. That will do. Pass me your notes. I'll carry on the experiment from here. You have witnessed history. It is rare something so awful. That was the Lauren fluke. You now have 2 extraordinary implications. How can such a thing be? Who but you could understand what it means? Who but me, indeed. I have 2 extraordinary implications. They don't take up space in the hold. That's good, because I was a little low on hold space. Okay, so the only thing we can do here is a mirrors challenge. Search for signs of other visitors. Let's take a look at my notes and see what Station 3 mirror challenge might entail. Here we go, Station 3, Depot A. Search for signs. Don't have any notes on what that does. I could change my officer for more mirrors. Does that affect it? It becomes very chancy. I mean, there's something else to do with my something awaits. Well, let's see what this does first. Try the gate. The only way past the walls is an imposing but sturdy-looking gate of triple barred silver. A sign is marked deliveries. No way in. The metal is steel hard and icy cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Perhaps if you could bring the ship's gun to bear, but no. If you return with a certain delivery, the gate will open. You'll know if you find it. Okay, well I'm not going to make a note of that because presumably when I find the thing that goes here, I'll be able to make a note of it then. Oh, it says right here, delivery long box. You need a Sooth and Cooper long box. Okay, well again, I think I'll know when I find that. Alright, well let's try this. So it's up to 42% chance with this officer. No evidence. You failed the challenge. You walk the quays, look for any little sign that might show what ship's dock here and what they deliver, but you find nothing conclusive, not even so much as a smear of pitch or a damp footprint. If any ships but yours have been tied up here in recent days, it has left no evidence. You know, I've had this officer in briefly, but I already have a really high iron anyway. I'm just trying to determine like would I rather have the 8 iron or the mirrors. I think I'll leave the mirrors on for now. And there's nothing else to do here, right? There's no shops. Yeah, no shops. I want to stay away from this guy. I still want to find polythreme. 11 fuel, or 14 fuel, 11 supplies. I will head east and then head south. A little farther from London than I feel comfortable with my ship in this state. There's a dude over there. I'm not gonna turn my. Oh, there's a dude down here too. Man, there's guys everywhere. Like I said, I am not interested in anything combat related. In the porcelain quarter. Crew quarter, Ogdai's Bridge. Okay, so this is the Connate. I found the Connate. Very oriental music. Not sure which Earth civilization is, like the Mongolians or something. That's what it's based on, maybe? The Connate. Khan's Heart, London's rival. No shops available. Khan's Heart, London's rival, an oasis of light in the salt black wastes. Canals thread the painted city, street lamps glow, and water taxis putter. It's definitely like a Chinese or Mongolian type situation here. Another submarine quest. We don't have a submarine. Seek a commercial license. The Khanganians dislike merchants and they dislike foreigners. Foreign merchants induce paroxysms of antipathy. Perhaps sufficient bribes will buy your way to the Nephite quarter. Time in the tea house. Copper quarter offers you comfort to foreigners, but the prices are, to put it mildly, mischievous. You have to have no more than 19 suspicion, 50 echoes, and terror. Terror is not really an issue for me at the moment. Hire crew. I don't really need more crew. It wouldn't hurt to have more, but I don't need more. Purchase fuel at an outrageous price. 50 echoes for fuel. Holy moly. I don't need to spend 50 echoes for fuel. Do I have notes of this place? Khan's Heart. Air crew. Establish a spy network. Yeah, fuel 50. Fuel 50. Supplies 50. That's definitely not what I'm interested in doing. Buy supplies at a ludicrous price. It's like Hong Kong, or like back in the silk trade or whatever from London and China. They're very restricted about how they could trade. Anyways, pay a storyteller. 5 echoes. Storyteller. can get you suspicion and memories of distant shores. Gather the port report. As cognition suspicion increases, this action becomes more difficult. If you have an intelligent network here, it's easier. And my veils are so bad. So how do you get an intelligence network? So much a spy in Khan's heart. If you're caught, it'll mean trouble. You have to have a diplomatic agent to even try to do that. And I can't seek intelligence because I don't have a network at all. 0% chance. What happens if you fail? Did I make any notes of that? I did not. I'll probably try this once. 40% chance, that's not 0. What does the storyteller do? Alright, look at this. Gets you suspicion, essentially, and memories of distant shores. I have a few memories of distant shores already. I don't necessarily need to risk suspicion for another one. Could seek a commercial license. Let's see what that says. Not here, Surfacer. Surfacer. The Canadians have been generations underground, and to them, all Londons are Surfacers. Seems you'll need to go to Khan's Glory, the nearby palaces of the nobility, to seek a license. Okay, well. Let's go ahead and try to get the port report. See what happens. Failed. Your listeners meet your questions with courteous, frightened silence. The back of your neck prickles. Don't turn around. You now have 2 white and golds are watching you, menace and suspicion. Okay, well, not going to do that again. It is repeatable, but it's gone down, and it went down from 40 to 30. Okay, well, cannot get the port report, at least not easily. Nothing else to do here. So there's another Khanate port, the one they were just talking about. The other one is also nearby, I believe. Khan's Glory, that's what it is. That's the other. That's where the nobles are. Apparently, you can request a commercial license or something. Is what it said. There it is, right there. That little white dot. Get a lot of fragments. The very first time you explore throughout the game, you get all these fragments. But later on, once you've already explored the world, it becomes very hard to get more fragments. Because you've already explored. A place of stately isolation. No shops available. Here are the palaces of the Khan and his court, each a fortress to itself. Sleek lords and ladies in belted robes breakfast on balconies. An unlikely antelope peeks at you from a park. Guns rotate easily on motorized gimbals. Offer a gift to the leopard. Don't have 5 sacks of coffee beans. I have that in my notes. Offer a gift to the leopard. Petition for access to the quarter. This gives access to the Nephrite quarter in Khan's Heart to the south, allow you to sell your goods there. But you need Leopard's Condensation 5. Don't have that. Offer a gift to the Taimen. Takes 5 Drowning Pearls. They have a fondness for Drowning Pearls. I have that written down. Plead your case to the Taimen. The Taimen clan has long controlled the white and golds, the loyalty service who watch Kennings and Forge like. The events your intentions are good, they may be lenient. If your intentions are written too high, this will reduce it. Okay, hasn't done that yet. I don't have something awaits. I should have sailed a little bit before I docked here. Oops. Cruise past the clan palaces. I didn't write down what that does. Ask the leopard to intercede. If your suspicion has ridden too high, the timing can help. It has not. I don't need to do this. I can't do this. Ask your timing contacts to intercede with the leopard. How do I get Timon's mercy? Not sure. Take a meeting concerning a matter of no importance. A servant is missing. His loss is a danger. I'll do that. No more than 2 suspicion. Well, I got 2 unfortunately getting the port report, but luckily I have no more than 2. There is a place one doesn't speak of. Officially, a former servant of the Time Men who did not engage in the gathering of strategic information did not disappear to the Unterzee port of Anth, which officially does not exist. At length, you hear what this servant did not look like, and strict prohibitions against pursuing him. Officially, no one in Khan's glory would have any interest or be at all inclined to reward you with money and connections if you were to go to Anth. They would not care for a report of this situation or information he may be able to bring home. Okay, so I need to go to Anth to get a report for Khan's glory. Okay. Make a note of that. Anth. Gather report for Khan's glory. Okay. Nothing else to do here? Oh, we can cruise past the gates and turn back. There's a gunboat, passes the harbor mouth twice. Scrutins you for a sec. Yeah, because I didn't have a something awaits when I docked. That's my bad. So there's nothing else to do here. Well, we still haven't found polythreme. I'm guessing it's over here. We could either go this way and try to go through this area and try to find it, or we could go this way and go around this way to try to find it. We have a decent amount of supplies and we're a little low on fuel. Did Station 3 sell fuel? I forget. This is why I write these things down. Oh, I should also update my notes here. I already did this. Took this. I did this. What did the Venture want to do now? I don't even remember. I didn't update my notes. I'll have to come back to that. This guy also wants to go to polythreme. Okay, well. I think I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to head back this way. Because... I really would like to find polythreme, because that's what I have the strategic information quest for. I'm just worried about dying. And also running out of fuel, which I don't have a ton of. Demo Island sold fuel, right? Let's see. Demo... yeah, 20. I can buy fuel for 20 there. Gator's Morn sold fuel. Let's see. Gator... Morn sold fuel for 30. Alright, well let's go this way. And we'll stop by Demo Island if I need fuel. I don't think these attack you, but I'm not 100% sure. I think these are like the patrol boats for the Khanate. And I think unless you attack them, they don't attack you back. But I'm gonna play it safe because I only have 31 hull. Okay, well it's attacking me, so I'm definitely going to speed away from it. Shepherd Isles to the northwest, we'll head there. Oh, there it is right there. Well, I've been looking for polythreme. Haven't found that, unfortunately, but we found a lot of other places. So you have something awaits. Last time I didn't wait for that. That was bad. Shepherd Isles. Sheep, lichen, and standing stones. Of course, the bearded watchman tells you, there are no actual shepherds in the Shepherd Isles. Sheep are mostly illegal here. No, indeed, it's just the name of the genter man who founded the islands. Greybeard sitting in the village square nods solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tails. Ask us anything. Oh, wow. Okay, that's just 20. Never mind. Let's write this down. Make sure I have this written. Shepherd Isles. Oh, it's right here, actually. Fuel is 20. Supplies are 30. Probably buy some fuel before we leave. Just make sure I have... 11's probably enough to get back to London, but we'll see. Okay, let's get the port report. Probably port report. Oh my, yes, yes, my yes. There's been goings on. In the bleak light, oh the false stars. Surface roiling like a porridge pot, up with a roar of steam and flash of fire. Three widows swimming, tentacles, and then we saw His Highness. There's rather a lot of this material. So like old dudes just like sitting around shooting the shit. You can engage a new officer for 50 echoes. I'll probably do that. No reason not to. Can I swap him out? Let's do that first, I guess. Engage an officer, the sigil-ridden navigator. Let me guide your ship. I know all the Z, how it was, how it will be. Please, the headaches only stop when I'm working. Increases mirrors and veil. Well, I definitely need to increase mirrors and veils. Relief, thank you. The nonsense here was a distraction for a while, but only the Z can help me now. Ah, my God, the air, it's clearer already. Let me chart a course for you. Ah, my head. What's he up to? I'm dying with you. I can buy supplies here. May as well do that, I suppose. He has an admirable appetite for so slight a fellow. Forgetfulness. Seconds, then thirds disappear in small, hasty morsels. He is nervous and not a gifted conversationalist. You do your best to plug the silence, but when you ask about his past, he winces. I can't say, citizen. He taps the livid sigil on his temple, which twitches like a scorpion sting, has burned away my memories. I recall I have a brother, but not his name or where he is. I remember the names of the ships I have served on, the Implicit, the Bonnie Swan, but not their crew. How did he come by the sigil? He clutches his head. I don't know. Thinking about it is like fire in my skull. He grits his teeth. Someone must have hated me very much to curse me with it, but I can't even remember my enemy. Speak to him again to advance his story. Okay. Speak to him again. Do I just do that now? Captain, my sleep is riddled with dreams, citizen. Dreams of bells and candles. He paces the deck. I see a lonely house lit by tallow and a wick. A bell is ringing. It rings now. Do you hear it? He scratches at his sigil, which has begun to bleed. Do you know this place, Captain? Can I plot a course? A place of candles and bells, the chapel of lights, a northern church where no sin is too terrible. Your sigil navigator wants to go to the chapel of lights to find his lost memories. Okay. Make a note of that. Sigil-ridden navigator. Go to, oops, Chapel of Lights. Okay. We still have something waits. We do. We can talk to the we can do Tales of the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers are happy to talk about the sights. There's a terror thing here. This is probably, again, this eating and drinking usually involves lowering your terror, but I don't need to do that. There's Tales of Standing Stones, Three Graves, or Tales of Thornwell Croft. There's also Rest of the Z. If you have 2 casks of mushroom wine, I think I have this written down, right? Shepherd Isles. Shepherd Isles. 2x mushroom wine, 7 supplies, gives you strategic information. Yep. Tale of Three Graves. Memory, Distant Stories, and a Z story. Tales of Thornwell Croft. Z story and fragments. Tale of Standing Stones. Tale of Terror and Terror. Well, let's get the Memory of Distant Shores and the Z story. Tale of Three Graves. Good to have. The hunters at rest. The Chelonet, right, they're hunters. They killed a turtle the size of London and built their city in its shell. A ship from the Chelonet came by, hunting the midnight whale. 3 of them had died cowards, so their bodies couldn't go into the Z. They paid for us the land in whale ivory. I got a piece, but I keeps it safe. That's all for now. Okay, so we've done everything we can do here. Do I need to buy any supplies or fuel? I'll buy a fuel. I think we're doing okay though. This should be enough to get back to London. Okay, we're still looking for Palmerston, or I mean, the other one. Starts with a P. Polythrene. Haven't found that yet. Hopefully it's south of here. get some map defogging so I can see where this place is on the map. Shepherd Isles, there we go. Let's go south. Abbey Rock is somewhere to the southwest. Okay, we can hit that up. Again, not Polystream, but something we haven't done yet. We should get something awaits though before we dock. Let's go explore over here. It spawned with these ones like all really close to each other. The random map generator spawned all these towns right next to each other. Whoa, I did not mean to do that. I hit the full power to the engines button. I did not mean to do that, holy crap. I guess that's if you need to run away in a hurry. Okay, well I can remember that in the future. But I did not mean to push that button. What did I hit? I hit F by accident. Okay, we have something awaits. Let's turn around here. Go ahead and dock Abbey Rock. Abbey Rock. No shops available. Here, the Grim Sisters' lair. A black spit of an island, far from anywhere anyone would want to go, and that's how the Sisterhood likes it. Here stands their fortress convent. There are bear traps that look friendlier than this. You can trade supplies for 20 echoes. That's basically what you can buy them for in London. Don't know why I would do that. Compile a part report. Always want to do that. As always, nothing is happening. The sisters watch us. We feel their eyes. The sea crashes on the rocks, withdraws. The fortress stands solid as the last year of a century. The greatest peril you risk here is a certain purpleness of prose. Okay. I have recent news. I could knock on the gates with news. Any indication in my notes on what that might do? Abbey Rock. -2 terror. That's not very exciting, but maybe I'll do it. Watch the convent. Something awaits. Offer a gift. If I had a hunting trophy. Don't have one. But can reduce your terror. Search the surroundings. You can't be the first to come here. Unlocked when you have no more than 0x of beginner's luck. Well, if I'm heading back to London anyway, I'm just going to use my recent news now for something at least, even though it's just reducing 2 terror. Brief attention. The muscular prioress, the abbess's lieutenant, comes to the door to listen. The abbess's lieutenant. She nods, makes notes. She pays particular attention to the news of marsh beast predations and the traffic of the rooftops. In return, she offers a rather perfunctory blessing, but the blessing reassures your crew. Not very exciting, but I would get more recent news when I head back to London anyway. Let's see what this does. Search the surroundings. A cache. You follow the tracks into a sea cave. Someone has stored food, supplies, ammunition. It can't be the nuns. These crates have a connate look. The Admiralty will want to know about this. Time is. Beginner's luck. You found something valuable. Once per game, something pleasant will happen. Okay, well. Luckily it didn't overflow my hold and I got a bunch of stuff. Alright, we still have something awaits. Let's go ahead and watch the convent. Wait a while and see. Ooh, a strange catch. That's when I need to talk to the Caledary Hare. I don't know if I want to do it here, though. I may as well, I suppose. Exotic refuse. The convent is silent. A few lights prick its bulk. Bells sound the times of prayer. You're almost ready to give up when a side door opens. 4 nuns march out, carrying something wrapped in a blanket, and fling it into the sea. Creep down to examine it. Well, it was likely unidentifiable even before the nuns used it for weapons practice. Now it leaks fluid from a dozen puncture wounds, but it still smells of the Z. A strange catch. It might be some sort of fish, but best not to look too closely. Okay, well let's talk to her then, now that we have a strange catch. Her father. She has become more talkative when she has something to cut. Perhaps you can get her to say more about her father. Who was he then? There's flensing, deboning, and orderly arranging of scales from large to small. This was the creature's favorite organ, she says, working briskly with teeth and blade. Don't touch it. The purple bits are toxic. She only turns to personal matters when she's had a chance to rinse her fingers. I get my proficiency with metal from both sides of the family, she says, watching your expression closely. Then, Mother was a favorite with Mr. Iron. She says that they only worked together that Mr. Iron sponsored her work and provided her with tools, sharper tools that do not bend so easily. You are now aware of the cluttery heir's claims of parentage. Still not enough to talk to her about her father. I now need a live specimen to talk to her about Mr. Iron. Okay, update the notes. Clattery air. Where did I write that down? I swear I wrote this down. Strange catch. Okay, I guess I didn't. I'll write it down now. Talk to clattery air. 1x strange specimen. Okay. Have to keep an eye out for that. Oh, live specimen, sorry. Live specimen. Alright, so we're still here at Abbey Rock. We could sell supplies, we don't want to do that. We already gave them our recent news. There's no shops available. Okay. Still looking for polythreme, although it feels unlikely we're going to find it this time. But we'll head south and keep looking for it. Crab. Again, I'm not really interested in any kind of combat at the moment. Guess I'll head here and then head east or west. I'd like to get this little section defogged. Nope, I aggroed the bat, or I aggroed the crab, but luckily he was going the other direction. Still looking for polythreme. No island in range. Creeping tendrils of fungus, seaweed, unnameable flora. We enter the snares. Like a monkey crag, I already explored that. I mean, I already found that on the map. Something awaits. The Dobos, the Dubois Maelstrom. Will that show up on the map if I go near it? Definitely don't have the hole to do anything related to maelstroms, I don't think. No islands in range. Something over here. No, it's just a light. I'm not having much luck finding polythreme. Something up there. Could be polythreme, I suppose, but oh, something underwater. I don't have a submarine, so that doesn't help me. This is something that was underwater, but again, I don't have a submarine, so. Alright, well. Higmotile. Also not polythreme. But I'll take something's better than nothing, I suppose. Discovered Saints Haven. Go ahead and dock here. Pigmote Isle. Two houses, both alike in dignity. On a lonely, deserted beach. There is no habitation in sight, no market, only an old rotting dock. A stretch of sand thickens into deep, damp, black earth from which sprout stunted palms? Not quite. Tall fungal growth with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. Disembark. See what awaits you. War? As you step on the quay, you hear clamor, shouts, and shooting. You can see off in the distance smoke rising from beyond the hill, and dots of fire flecking the horizon. Two tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving, as if awaiting your approach. A literary interlude. The following is an extract from the popular Diary of a Sea Captain, from London to Irem and what we did there before we arrived, watched ashore on Mutt Island, and subsequently serialized in the Unexpurgated Gazette. The author's identity remains unknown. The Tale of Pigmoat Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, a most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. Oh my lord. Here we go. Chapter 1, The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a Rattus Faber wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig wearing a helmet and breastplate, reminiscent of nothing so much as the High Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first and bowed. Welcome, Captain, to Rat Star Island. I am Edgar, Second Chief Engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The rat steps back. At precisely the same moment, with what appeared to be the ease of long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward and made a declamatory chirp. Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Cavia. I am Lady Augusta Devereux, Swinch of the Black Water Swinches, Seneschal to our great King, Grace Naw, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The two stood at attention, looking at me unexpectedly. The two remarkable rodents sat squatted, both seeking my support. I knew I had to choose carefully. I spoke to the chief engineer. I spoke to the seneschal. I had heard more than enough. Okay. His eyes had a wave-cold glint to them, and he wore his scars like jewels. A rat in the making. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London, its cats and snuffers, its rat-skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat. The chief engineer nodded toward the distant hill. One day we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked this rat star to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavi saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist them to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them? I talked to the seneschal. How did an armored guinea pig manage to look regal? A knight out of habit. The seneschal cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the duchess's own before speaking. Grace Naw the king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months had sojourned on the sea, conquered this land and won the south main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain. Save the rats, that squeak behind the mountain, unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance, assured shall be our glories in their fall, when our lady's eye restored to our hall. The seneschal composed herself, and then added, We saw truth and beauty by the light of Our Lady's eye on Mount Caviat, but the rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? Well, I had heard more than enough. I was ready to make my choice. As you can well imagine, I faced quite a dilemma. The red eyes stared at me, waiting for my choice. I can side with the chief engineer. He seemed grumpy but honest. Also, I knew all too well what weapons can do. I favored the seneschal. Was it her charm or a fondness for London's rat-skin coats that swayed me? Perhaps a little of both, at any rate. I was keen to find out more about their civilization. I attempted to broker a peace. Surely their commonalities were more numerous than their differences. Perhaps I could get them to get along. Good lord. Pigmoat Isle. I feel like as a soldier, I'm more inclined to align myself with the rats, but I didn't take very many notes here, so I don't actually know what any of these do. Interesting. Again, I'm leaning towards the engineer. I don't know if this is like a one-time decision or not. Perhaps I can get them to get along. Well, I'm a soldier. Let's slide with the rats. They seem to be the more sympathetic ones here. I extended a finger to the chief engineer, who shook it grimly. The seneschal hissed and chattered her teeth in disgust, but kept her distance. You made the right choice, the chief engineer. Let me show you around. One fuel, one supplies. I now have memoirs, a rat in the making quality of 1. You chose to help the rats. Good lord. It continues. Chapter 3, A Rat in the Making. The chief engineer led me to the northern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of what can only be termed checkpoints, as fierce-eyed rats shouldered their derringers and saluted the chief engineer. Soon we come upon a small colony, smaller than a stone of some of the infestations smaller than some of the infestations I had encountered in London flats, perhaps only 50 Ratas Faber altogether, working diligently to fortify their side of the island. The first thing I noticed was a brilliant light beaming out from a stump of chickenwood about 6 feet high. It bathed the whole settlement in a clean blue glow, and was almost too bright to look at. By its light I could see several raised mounds of earth, suggesting shallow tunnels. An efficient fishing operation was set up by the water, an albino rat mending nets, while others stabbed sharpened sticks into the waters. Further inland was a barracks, where a sergeant barked drills at a small squadron of fighters. My arrival drew attention, and several rats paused in their work to look at me curiously. "Welcome to Marinia," said the chief engineer, voice warm with pride. "It's not much to look at now, but it will be once we've rousted the cavies. Take a stroll around while I summon the war council." With that, he vanished into one of the mounds and left me to explore. I could visit the barracks, the star, the beach, and finish. So let's visit the barracks. I visited the rats' barracks. The drill sergeant appeared to be sizing me up. Were the rats around her really all she had to launch an attack? We were fighting impressive odds. I approached the drill sergeant and went so far as to salute her, which earned me a grunt of satisfaction. The sergeant dismissed her troops and offered me a bit of chicken wood jerky to gnaw on. "There's more of us below," she explained, "but not enough. The cabbies are bigger and there's more of them. We're better with weapons, but haven't got the stuff to make 'em with. Most of us come here as stowaways and brought nothing but food, tools, and the fur on our backs. We can fish, and we nibble the chicken woods, but we can't make guns out of trees. The cabbies came with their own steamer and seem to have endless supplies. We raid 'em sometimes, but there's so few of us, and we can never hold on to territory we gain for long. But that's of no consequence. All we want is to be left in peace to build our republic. And the Rat Star," she added thoughtfully after a moment. "Of course, we want that too." I took a closer look at the rat star. An excitable-looking rat was peering at it through smoky goggles, twitching her whiskers and making notes on what appeared to be real paper. "Blue as a sapphire, but endlessly more brilliant. It's not a star, of course, not really, but try explaining that to the others. The chief engineer doesn't want me working too hard to convince them. Says this is better for morale, but just look at it, look." She offered me her goggles, and I managed to work them over just enough one of my eyes to see the truth of what she was saying. It was scintillac, but unlike any I'd seen before. Blue as a sapphire, but more brilliant. Something about the clarity of its color was tremendously soothing. The chief science officer tittered with pleasure as I handed her goggles back. Those of us who've been to the Cabby side of the island and lived to tell of it say that there's plenty of glow there, plenty of bright in the water all around, but nothing like this. We took from the island's center, Mount Ararat, only it's not a mountain, of course, any more than this is a star. It's hollow. There's sweet water inside and coral crawling all up the walls of it, but nothing that glows save this. It's ours now, and no one can take it from us. Okay, so Pigmote Isle has something in the center of it. I headed down to the beach. Who ever heard of a rat mending a net? Where the green billows played, an albino rat smiled at me from his mending work. Chickenwood floats, especially when it's dried out and sealed, so we're able to paddle out a bit and cast our nets. We come up with all sorts of things, blind fish, crabs, and sometimes a chunk of broken tentacle. But fishing would never be so good without the rat star, he beamed. I think it only draws good fish, and it keeps the scary ones at bay. I know the chief science officer doesn't believe in it, but I do. The light is our livelihood. Okay, I finished my exploration. The bells of the war council rang. I was summoned. Chapter 4, A Vital Enterprise. The chief engineer emerged from underground with a motley assortment of other rats. He introduced them as weapons experts, strategists, and field commanders. "So you're going to help us beat the Kavis," he said, a hard edge to his voice. "But how, exactly?" I offered my strategic assistance. That's not really what we're going to be doing. Yeah, our Veil's quality is not high. I determined to take the lead. I had a ship, I had cannons, we would steer her to the southern side of the island, and we have those uppity animals. There we go. That's what I will do. A palpable hit. The rats gave me what information they possessed about the Cabby's settlement, but I still had to improvise a great deal on the spot. A perfect storm of speed, stealth, and strength in arms favored us, our cannons letting fly a volley of shot onto the beach before the Cabbies could scramble onto their grounded ship to man its guns. Screams and squeals filled the air. The enemy fled. A damp hush settled over my crew as smoke cleared to reveal torn, bloodied bodies of guinea pigs littering the shore. A grim business, but I had honored my commitment to the rats and found a wealth of scintillac ringing the beach to harvest as spoils. Hail Marinia, 2 health alike in dignity. Not that that is saying much, mind. An occurrence. Your Pigment Isle might quality is now 5. Adequate. A nation must be strong. If it reaches 0, bad things will happen to Pigment Isle. Pigment Isle civilization quality is now 4. Troubled. A nation must build. If it reaches 0, bad things will happen. Okay, so might went up, maybe, and then maybe civilization went down. Spirit quality is now 3. Conflicted. If it reaches 0, bad things will happen. But I have gained 3 Shintalak and a bale of parabola linen. The house of K had fallen. Chapter 5, A Nation is Born. Marinia was triumphant. All that remained was the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. And then I invited one of the Rata's favor to join us, if I have no more than an albino tinkerer. I interceded on behalf of the Cavies. They were crushed, defeated, and I could see their spirits broken with the light of the rat starting to guide them. They needed an advocate. Unlocked with a rat in the making 1. You have 1, and no more than 1. The Wide Z beckon. We've eaten our fill and business was concluded. Okay, so we do want to invite a rat as favor to join us? Or do we want to intercede on behalf of the Cavies? I think if they were closer to losing their civilization quality, it was like 3 out of... I would probably do this, but let's go ahead and see what happens when you get an albino tinkerer. Welcome aboard. The chief engineer couldn't leave his colony, but he relayed my quest to his people. The albino rat that I saw mending nets shyly stepped forward. I'm good at fixing things, he said earnestly, and like to see more of the world. I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before accompanying him aboard. Okay. But they lost civilization. They're now down to 3, struggling. I should probably intercede on behalf of the Cavies then, right? The satisfaction of victory. I appealed to the chief engineer's moral fortitude and sense of fair play. Perhaps the Cavies suffered the loss of the light from the center of the island. Perhaps they were only trying to get it back and not steal it from the rats. The chief engineer looked troubled, but he shook his head. You fought one battle, Captain, he said gravely. We've fought hundreds against them. They're monsters, pure and simple, and the sooner we're rid of them, the better. Rid of them? I saw by the light of the scintillac a dozen rats using the steam pinnace's supplies to build something that looked remarkably like a sausage machine. Uh-oh. They're going to make sausages out of the guinea pigs. You could not forge peace between the rats and Cavies. You have cast your lot in with the rats. The Wide Z beckons. Okay, well, the end. There, you finish your diary entry and the final dregs of the rat's surprisingly good wine. They line up and salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to the ship through the foundations of their new republic. You now have 1 port report, your hunger is gone, and a new nation has been founded. Hail, the rise of... Hail, Marinia. Okay, so it's now the rats control the island. The neatest, most adorable nation of scurries around your legs. Scintillac harvesters drag heavy bags of the island bound to their silos. Industrious rodents work hard on the towering edifices, some of them almost neck-high. London will never be able to believe a bloody word of this. If I had something ways, which I don't, I could help them resolve the dilemma. I can request repairs. Ooh. 145 echoes to repair your ship some. That is actually... It's cheaper in London, but that would allow me to explore a little more maybe and find polythreme. Visit the Cavi Ghetto. Unlocked when a new nation has been founded. Steal the star. It's hard to do when their might quality is high, I guess. But if you lower their might. Blue Scintillac, is that one of the colors that I am supposed to be finding? Blue? Irigo? Pelegrin? Valent? None of these look blue. Vieric? I don't know if the blue Scintillac is one of the colors for the Book of Colors. Let's go ahead and visit the Cavi Ghetto. The Cavi Ghetto, poor little guinea pigs. The survivors of the war have been sent to the swamp where they ponder their failure. Rat guards patrol from atop a spiked wall, passing the time by pelting the mud-slicked guinea pigs with sharp rocks. You can smuggle food into the ghetto. This will raise their spirit to no more than 5, currently 3. Could attempt to broker a union if the spirit was high enough. Or it can assist the Cavi Rebellion. This guarantees you the Rat Star, but will cost you 5 veils. I don't think I'm ready to do that. Do they sell supplies here? They don't. I have 13 supplies. I may as well improve their spirit. A sly delivery. The regular gate guards do not dare approach the hairless advisor. That's me, I suppose. A few careful lives get you and your supplies through without incident, but the starving cabbies have little to repay your kindness, but offer what little they manage to keep from their ship. I got a cache of curiosities, and time has passed. I raised the spirit up to 4. Argumentative. Get a cache. It's a page from my journal. On the day we saw the pillars of Irem, they are not what I expected. Irem is the place one does not expect. That is its nature. You have seen it in your dreams, yes, you, who found this page long after my death. I knew when I wrote these words that you would read them one day. Irem taught me this, and now Irem's lesson is all that remains of me. One history of a memory of a distant shore. I can still visit the ghetto. I can still smuggle supplies if I wanted to. I don't want to get rid of too many supplies. I'm sure I'll come back here later. Maybe when I have more supplies I can... Oh, I'll also be able to do this at some point too, right? Unlocked with Spirit 1, Might 1, Civilization 1. But I have to have something that waits to do this. Oh boy, okay, that was quite the adventure. Still looking for polythreme. I don't know where that is, unfortunately. It's been a long session. I'm actually interested to get back to London and end the playthrough for today. But I would really like to find polythreme if possible. Just exploring. Sending my Z-Bat out to find things. Could head back to port, but I'm not interested in doing that. Enter the snares. When I have nothing else, I can get the port report from Gator's Morn. Well, it looks like we will be looking for polythreme in the next session, because I have not found it. I have plenty of supply. I don't need to go to Gator's Morn. I mean, obviously getting the port report is always useful, but I may as well just spend some time defogging this map and then head back to London. Well, the primary mission for next time will be to go east to polythreme. Like we'll just go straight east through Gator's Morn, defog this area along the way. Try to find polythreme. Did find something here. I don't think this is polythreme though. This is the Salt Lions. Zealport. There's also another thing down here. Is this something that you can discover? No. Okay, let's go into Zealport. The Salt Lions, there is a vast sorrow in their empty eyes. Two basalt beasts, cathedral size, they frown eternally at each other across the black waves. The north one carries an encampment. Creeping human figures eat away at its features like rot. Picking. There's a supply dock below. Let's get our port report. time, basalt, and dissolution. Record the activities of the unmakers, such as they are, rite of stone and silence. Blow by blow, the scholars convert stone to secrets. Shops? No shops available. It's the unmakers, or carry Sphinx stone. You will need a deposit and 20 units of spare cargo space. Do not have 20 units, so I will not be doing that. But I can come back here sometime, maybe do that. This is the unmakers. Muscular pick wielders rest on camp stools, watching you approach, passing hip flask around. An unctuous overseer beckons you to sit. Fungal, tisane, and tea cakes. We get funding from the bazaar, it's true, but Station 4? I wouldn't call us Station 4. It's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used as garden statuary or as occult ballast. Most of them, some go down to the places under the bazaar. More tea cakes. You've lost 5 terror and gained 1 fragment. That's all for now. Okay, well, someday I'll come back here and with some hold space and cart some stone to London, I guess. But that day will not be today. Just get this little section here and then head back to London. Good stop in, but no, I'll get the report as well, I suppose. May as well. Yeah, let's just get this one last section here and then head west. Don't want to do any fighting. I'm at 30 HP. Don't like the way that guy's turning. Okay, he's going around. Another ship that I don't want to aggro. Alright, let's go around here. Another ship. Again, I think some of these are London's. Like, there's ships from London, but I don't know. I think the UI is bugged because I have this UI scale up to 2x to make it actually legible. I think that does something with the way that the health bars are shown on the ship, so it's hard to see the health bars for whatever reason. That's my guess, at least. Okay, we'll dock here, get the port report, and then we'll head back to London, and that'll be the end of today's session. Get the port report, which was this one. Spend our something awaits quality. You can either get a crew. No, this is explore the shore. You may lose a crew. Or you can visit the hilltop again. The hilltop, we did this last time. It wasn't particularly exciting. Maybe we'll do the other one. Yeah, 2 terror and 30 fragments. Not particularly exciting. Oh, a midnight ceremony. This wasn't here before. A warm night on Button Island. A balmy wind blows from the east. My veil's quality is so bad, though. What do I have in my notes about the midnight ceremony? If you fail, you get 5 fragments. If you succeed, you get a Tale of Terror, 20 fragments, and 3 terror. Explore the shore. That's just like a random encounter, yeah. Do I have all the officers on that give veils? So this guy gives veils. He's the navigator. Okay, let's put him in. Veils. This guy gives veils. Let's put him in. Can you speak to that guy? No. She gives veils, but he gives more. I guess the same amount. Well, let's put her in regardless. 3 veils. Alright, let's see how we're up to 46% chance. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Man, I have not been succeeding in my challenges. Too late. You don't know how the hill pass like the locals. You don't know the little hill pass like the locals do, and you have to climb more than walk. Your skin is sheened with sweat by the time you reach the top. The black rocks give you with empty indifference. If something happened up here, you're too late to see it, so the climb was good practice. Okay. Put my blending team back in. Put my... Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Actually, I'd rather have this guy in. He offsets my negative, my low stats more. Alright, back to London. Need to repair our hull and whatnot, but we'll deal with that at the beginning of the next session. Whoa, I don't want to fight. Not interested in combat right now. I could probably kill the crab without any problems, but there's really no upside to killing the crab. You get like a small number of fragments from it or whatever. We did that last session a few times. I don't want to risk my playthrough at 31 hull for a few fragments. I'm not carrying any contraband, I don't think. It's always something to think about when you come back to London. I don't think parabola linen is contraband. I don't think any of this stuff is contraband. They might seize it unless you have a place to... there's like some items that you can equip to your aft, like storage compartments where you can like hide smuggled cargo. I don't have an aft compartment, and I don't have any smuggled cargo, so that's not really relevant, but just something to think about when you're coming back to London. Alright, so here we are at home after a long journey. We will... Yeah, so I don't have any Brilliant Souls or Romantic Literature, so we'll just do this. We saw this last time. Yeah, I don't have any suspicion. Collect our notes from the Harbor Master. That's all for now. Okay, well this is a good place to end this session. We'll go over at the beginning next time. We'll repair our ship, turn in our port reports and whatnot, and see what awaits us for next time. Alright. That was a good session. Take care.